Coming to you live from Eldredge Park in Orleans here in the Cape League. It's a cross-conference battle between the Falmouth Commodores and the Orleans Firebirds. Matt Venezia, Zach Serdenik, Destiny Sanchez with you here as the Commodores are going to try to play some baseball today. No fog here on this side of the Cape as yesterday's game has been moved to July 18th because of the fog. But a good chance for the Commodores to try to get back in the win column, their most recent game in the win against Katuitt 12-2. But before we get to the action, we send it to Destiny Sanchez.
Thanks, Matt. A little recap of the last time Falmouth and Orleans saw each other. They have split the two games this season, with the two times they've seen each other. The last game was here at Eldredge Park, where the Doors won 4-3, and it started the four-game win streak for the Doors. Orleans is ranked third in the East Division, with Coach Nicholson reaching his 400th career win, and the Doors' Coach Trundy is 2 away from 500 regular season career wins. It should be a great interleague matchup here in Orleans.
Thank you, Destiny. It is a great opportunity if the Commodores can win today to set up a chance tomorrow against YD for Coach Trundy to get that 500th career regular season win, as we talked about. On the mound today, Sam Leboki, the right-hander out of Vanderbilt, will take the hill today for the Firebirds, who come into today's contest at 10-11, good for third in the East. And stepping into the box, Christian Martin will lead it off. Travis Bazzana behind him. Kyle DeBarge in the 3 spot. Cleaning it up is Tyler McGregor. Luke Heyman out of Florida will get his first start behind the dish today. Cade Snell designated hitting. Nate Humphreys in straightaway center. Gavin Turley out of Oregon State in left. And Tab Tracy out in right. The very first pitch is a fastball upstairs right at 6:30 on the dot. To the Hokie in the box for the Commodores, Christian Martin.
Want to get things started at the top of the order quickly for Martin. Only saw him lead off one other game this season, and he can do some damage. He's been swinging the bat well.
Leboki out of the full wind finds that fastball outer third of the plate to the left-hander and Christian Martin, who this is now, we saw the lineup yesterday in the game that didn't happen. Martin would have led off. This lineup very, very similar to what we would have seen at Veterans Field. This one here misses a little bit on the inner half. Makes it 2-1. The scoreboard is not currently up right now here at Eldredge, out there in left. Trying to check and make sure we're saying the right digits here. Martin swings and grounds one. A diving effort by Oyama to his left. It gets into right for a base hit.
Good swing. Got a change up a little below the knees and went and get it. Pulled it into right field. Start things off well for the Doors.
So Christian Martin aboard with all that speed as we've talked about. He's a .345 hitter in the ACC at Virginia Tech. Shows us why right there. And now it's time for Travis Bazzana to step in there. Bazzana had himself a 1-for-4 effort in the most recent outing against Katuitt. I apologize, actually. That was the road game at Katuitt on the 5th. Looking back at my book here, realized that we finished up that July 6th resume game on the 4th. But nonetheless, it is Bazzana in there now with a hot bat right now. Shows bunt. Gets away from Henry Hunter, the backstop. That one's in the dirt for the first ball.
Leboki likes that changeup quite a bit right now. He's going to it early and often in these counts.
Trying to stay ahead here. And again, there is no scoreboard currently up here at Eldredge Park right now. We believe the count is 2-1. That one in there makes it 2-2. Trying to work with what we got here at the friendly confines of Eldredge Park. With now Bazzana in there in the left-handed box, shoving that bat over his right shoulder. He lays the bunt down. It's a good one. Tough play for Penny, and that one's not even going to be a play. He eats the throw, and an infield base hit bunt along the third base line sets up 2 on for the Doors with nobody away.
That's the second time we've seen that this season from Bazzana, and I asked him about it the first time, and he said he can get that bunt down anytime he wants, and he does it right there and shows that. That bunt came off his bat pretty hot for what you normally see in a bunt single, and he still beat that without a play.
The Commodores like to play small ball. They've certainly done a fair share of it this season, as you mentioned, between Bazzana, even Gavin Keelan, and Christian Martin for that matter. But now you set up Kyle DeBarge, who's been the, of late, 3-hole hitter for the Commodores. DeBarge right now second on the team in RBIs coming into this game. Got a good chance for a couple here with 2 on. Here with nobody away. Tough spot here for Leboki, who comes set at the waist. The first pitch. So it looks to be a slider bending away from the right-hander in DeBarge. The Asian Cajun in the box makes it 1-0.
It's a pretty good pitch. Had some nice movement to that outside edge, but didn't start it close enough to the plate to tempt DeBarge, especially with no strikes in the count.
Not much of a lead for at second base. A line drive right at the shortstop Ruben there. A quick check back to second. Diving back is Martin. Good heads-up play there to get back in time, but that one was barreled by DeBarge, but right at Ruben.
It was 94 miles an hour off of his bat there. He got that slider this time on the inside part of the plate, went to the front door, and DeBarge was sitting there waiting to answer it, but couldn't get it past. There was shortstop in Ruben.
So now I'd argue the most influential to this recent success of the lineup offensively, that bat in the order, is Tyler McGregor now in the box. 419 on the average here, remotely in that cleanup role here for the Commodores. Had himself a solo blast in the top of the ninth at Lowell Park a couple of days back in that 3-2 losing effort for the Doors. Watch this one miss upstairs a little bit there, makes it 1-0. A look back to second and Martin. Change up, outer third. That one's in there to even the count at 1. Beg your pardon now. The count 0-2. Again, still working with the scoreboard inefficiencies here for now. So the count is 0-2 to McGregor, the big left-handed bat. The pitch, McGregor fouls it off straight over our heads here. And he keeps fighting in there. Falmouth coming into this contest today, last in the West, 8-12-2, but the Doors' offensive success has started to pick up just a little bit here. Trying to build on that big offensive outburst against Catuit 2 days back. A 12-2 victor were the Commodores. That game resumed 2-0 Falmouth in the top of the third after the rain on July 4th. The pitch to McGregor. Skies this one along the left field line and foul once again. He works alive there in the box, and we keep battling 0-2.
Laboki's really pitched McGregor backwards so far, starting with a changeup for a strike, then the slider for a called strike, back-to-back fastballs in those 0-2 counts. We'll see if he goes back off speed here.
Christian Martin, the runner, on second with a base hit to the right side, and then an infield bunt by Travis Bazzana. He's at first. One away here in this threat for the Commodores to begin the ball game. Changeup low, good take there on the offering from Laboki. The throw back from Henry Hunter had him leaping to grab that one. That could have been loose on the infield, and with the speed you have out there, you got to be careful.
I will say the shift does help a little bit with the shortstop Ruben playing basically right at second base, but yeah, you definitely have to be careful.
The offering, pulling the string, swing and a miss. Changeup, outer third. McGregor comes up empty. And suddenly the 2 base hits, now 2 consecutive outs, mean that the newest Commodore, Luke Heyman, will have to come through here as he steps in.
Runners in scoring position, 2 outs. That's been something that the Doors have kind of struggled with at times this season, but have done better over their last 7 games. It's been a marker and an indicator of this recent success. We'll see if they can keep that going here.
Heyman, the right-handed bat out of Florida, stands in the box here. First pitch swinging, he's late on it, sends it straight back foul. Looked to be the fastball there. Heyman just a couple of at-bats to this point. 0 for 3 in the young season of the Cape League. Had a pair of strikeouts in his appearance in that July 5th game at Catuit.
We've got some fog rolling in now too, Matt.
Chopper by Heyman, left side of the infield. Penny at third has a play. Long throw. Pulled the first baseman off the bag, Olmstead, but he got his right foot barely on it. Not conventional by any means, but it all looks the same. A 5-3 ground out by Heyman will strand second and first for Falmouth. 0 put on here to start with the Firebird bats coming up next on the Commodores Radio Network. After the 2 hits in the inning by Falmouth, the Doors now trying to do a good impression of putting up a 0 of their own here defensively, and it's the right-hander out of UCLA coming off a good campaign his freshman year out there in Pasadena. It's Michael Barnett.
Barnett had good numbers at best, or out in UCLA, and did a really nice job to finish the season strong. Finished the regular season with 5 straight hitless outings for the Bruins. He's been pretty solid so far this summer as well. Had a good outing against the Gatemen at Spillane in an offensive affair. But he did a nice job to limit them as much as he could. 6 1/3 innings pitched, just 4 earned runs given up as he continues to try and keep the Doors in as many games as possible. And with the offense swinging the bats like they have been, that's really all you have to do on the mound.
Joe Ayama steps in to lead off, the left-handed batter playing second base today. Leads the team in average at .362. First pitch swinging. It's a fastball chopped foul towards the dugout of Kelly Nicholson and the Firebirds, rocking their traditional home jerseys today, white on white with the red sleeves. Falmouth, the traditional away look we've seen so often, the black tops with the black caps and the gray pants today. A couple guys wearing the stirrups as well. Fastball here, outer part of the plate, in there for a strike as well. Barnett's fastball looking pretty lively here. Quickly to Ayama, it is 0-2.
Yeah, right up there in the high 80s, up at 89. Those last couple of pitches, and he can get into the 90s as well.
Let's see if he goes to some other stuff here. Goes with the hot stuff. It's a ground ball up the middle, base hit. Ayama, tough out to put away. Tried to work him backwards, and 3 fastballs result in a base hit to lead it off for the Firebirds.
Tough out is putting it lightly for Joe Ayama. He has been so good for this team. He's second in the league in batting average at .362 through 17 games at the top of that Orleans lineup.
So now it's Johnny Olmstead, the Trojan, taking on a Pac-12 matchup here. Southern California Pac-12 matchup, I should say. Olmstead over there at first base made a nice stretch play to get the Firebirds out of that little bit of a jam. This one here, a fastball at 90. Misses a little bit inside, 1-0.
Just barely off the plate there. Not a bad pitch to start things off.
Barnett from the stretch comes set now, glove high at the shoulder. Olmstead takes it as Ayama's going. The throw in time and the tag, a better one. Christian Martin lays it down. Luke Heyman, welcome to the backstop. He guns out Ayama, 1 away.
That's how you want to start. It always feels better to have success on your first when you shake out the nerves, whether that's at the plate or behind the plate right there for Heyman. One guy gets on, one guy tries to run, and you send him back walking to the dugout.
How do you do, Luke Heyman? The Florida Gator showing off the cannon here. Fastball up and in here at 90. Stayed there. Pretty good spot. Like the frame job back there as well. Makes it now a 2-1 count. Barnett now still with nobody on base. The offering. That one fouled off what looked to be the inner part of the barrel. Sent straight towards Kelly Nicholson's dugout. Makes it a 3-1 count.
That's the last thing you want on a 3-0 count, is to have it nick off just a piece of the bat and go to the backstop on a pitch that probably wasn't a strike.
Olmstead on the ground that eats up the third baseman Bazana. Still on the run. The throw gets away from McGregor. Coming in from right, Tab Tracy blew a tire. Olmstead didn't really know that it got away from Tracy. He maybe could have taken third there, Zach, but a little bit of chaos. We'll see what they rule that. Bazana only had a handful of outings at third base, traditionally in the middle infield for the Beavers up in Corvallis. Bobbled that baseball, and not a very good throw. I would think they would rule that an error to the third baseman Bazana tonight.
At the very least, the runner moving up to second is going to be an error. The question is it going to be a hit and an error or just a two-base error? We'll have to see on that. Bazana over there at third just got a really tough hop. It kind of ate him up a little bit. And then we talk about this a lot, Matt, but compounding mistakes, and that's what happened there. Bazana tried to make the superhero play and get him, but just wasn't able to. They do rule that in E5.
It was rather routine on the ground ball. I mean, it was not much to it. And now that presents Jack Penny, the left-hander, an opportunity. Pulling the string, a nice offering there. Cut on and missed by Barnett.
That was a really nice slider. Can't locate it much better. Starting it on the outer part of the plate to the left-hand hitter and bending it back in towards that inside corner.
Jack Penny trying to get going here, a .230 hitter in this point of the Cape season. 1 home run and just 4 RBIs for the southpaw bat there in the box. Michael Barnett walking a little bit off the mound here in a 1-1 count. Barnett coming set against the product out of Notre Dame. A look back to second to see Olmsted. Barnett lifts the leg and fires. Pulled the string again. Chopped foul straight back to the backstop here at Eldredge Park. Really good crowd tonight. The famous hill along right field. Couple patches of open green grass, Zach, but it's a packed house here on a Saturday night for baseball.
This might be the biggest crowd we've seen all summer anywhere on the Cape. They really came out tonight.
Well, I don't know. That almost perfect game bid there at Veterans Field a couple of weeks back.
That was a pretty good
with
crowd,
Chatham.
too.
Good numbers there. Barnett, another look to second. This one chopped up the middle. Good play on it for DeBarge. Makes the throw, moving to his left in time to McGregor. That does allow Olmsted to move to third. Now the Commodores need to find a way here with 2 gone to strand that runner in Johnny Olmsted at third.
You really don't want to have a spot where you start the game with back-to-back hits, don't score in the top half, and then give up an unearned run in the bottom half. But we'll see what they can do. Hallback has really hurt the Doors in the first 2 meetings between these squads. So want to settle yourself in and fire strikes, and that's what Barnett's trying to do. He's working that fastball on the inner part of the plate to righties, outer part of the plate to lefties, and then trying to bend the slider back in as well.
A 306 hitter was Hallback at UC San Diego this year. Steps into the box now. Again, a base hit would certainly do it. Anything through here. Not much of a shift on here. Just a little bit with Martin moved closer to that second base bag, favoring the left side, the pull side for the right-handed bat now. That one just off the plate there, 1-0.
Yeah, just going to the slider to start off Hallback. Don't want to give him something if he's looking for the fastball, which is what he started pretty much everybody else with.
That is the fastball, and it's down low. Cut on and miss. 90 on the gun here. Barnett looking good here.
That's a really good pitch. He's got that fastball. It's almost like a sinker-type movement to it, and it just sinks away from the bat there.
Hallback 313 here on the Cape for the Firebirds as a hitter. Slider, this one sharply on a backhand reach for DeBarge. Long throw across the infield. The pick should have been there, and it was, but it's in and out of the glove of McGregor. And again, I mean, the throw okay, reaching to his right from DeBarge's long throw, but that might be another error on the infield here for Falmouth as the first run of the ball game comes across, and it's 1-0 for Orleans.
I think they're going to rule that a hit. That ball was hit almost 100 miles an hour off the bat. It was smoked. DeBarge made a really nice play, and McGregor almost bailed him out on the pick, just couldn't get to it. I think that's probably going to be a hit. Either way, it's an unearned run, and it's going to hurt because you give it up on the air.
That one will be right around that number. 104 on the exit velo on that rip base hit into left. Turley makes the play on it. And a knock right there, back to back. Set up the Firebirds with 2 on, 2 away.
They're seeing Barnett really well early in this game. This is a team that has a lot of talented offensive players, but has struggled offensively so far this summer. They can break out at any point.
And Zach, they actually do rule that one an error on DeBarge. Wow. So they rule that an E6 on the advancement.
That's tough. That's a really tough play, man.
I mean, reaching into the 6 hole there, pretty much right up to the edge of the grass. There in the deepest part of the shortstop hole and reaching on the backhand. As a former shortstop, I can understand that's a tough play.
Yeah, it's in no world is that a routine play at shortstop.
Zach is not a fan. Neither am I, for that matter. Good pull of the string here, the slider. Nice pitch there by Barnett. You might have heard my partner and I here, Zach, calling out some numbers here and being relatively accurate. Well, we've got the TrackMan set up here working for us to give you some of the numbers that we're seeing. Shout out to TrackMan for helping us out here in the Cape League. Providing some of the numbers, exit velo, spin rate, all that crazy stuff. Right there, that fastball low and away came in at 90.90. That's the hottest we've seen from Barnett to this point in the ball game. With Eddie King Jr. in the box now, ahead of it 2-1.
Just want to find a way to limit the damage. The Doors have struggled when giving up the first run of the ball game, but still a chance and a lot of baseball right now. Just got to get yourself back into it.
As Zach would say, a yellow light offering there from Eddie King Jr. Wasn't too sure about it there on that fastball inner third. Makes it count 2-2. Commodores 1 pitch away from getting out of this little bit of a jam here with runner on second, Matt Hallback, and Fenwick Tremble standing on first. Barnett set, couple looks back to second, fires from the stretch, pulled the string, swing and a miss. Slider in the dirt. And a good job there. The slider looking pretty effective here from Barnett, but not before we see a run come in across. Johnny Olmsted in to score off the error. 2 in that frame for Falmouth. Make it 1-0 Orleans going to the top of the second here on the Commodores Radio Network. Falmouth ready to go here in the top of the second inning. Jack Penny at third base tonight for the Firebirds. Ruben at short. Joe Ayama with that leadoff base hit for the Firebirds at short. And Johnny Olmstead, the Trojan, over at first. Henry Hunter catching the balls and strikes as he receives this first one just off the plate there. The outfield from left to right reads Tuft, Eddie King Jr., and Fenwick Tremble for Kelly Nicholson. And the Firebirds, right now, as we mentioned, standing right there in the middle of that pretty jam-packed East Division, sitting at 10 and 11. The count now evened up to the Commodores bat in the inning. Cade Snell leading it off, 1-1. Offering here, Snell goes the other way for a base hit in between the 5-6 hole. On a couple of hops, Tuff will get it back in. And a good start to the inning for the Commodores. Already hit number 3 for the Doors. Trying to find a run to show for the efforts.
That's a really nice piece of hitting. That pitch was a changeup low and away, and Cade Snell doesn't try to do too much with it, because if you do on that type of swing, all you're doing is rolling the ball over to the second baseman. But instead, Snell stays through the ball and pushes it the other way out into that gap between the shortstop and the third baseman, finds himself with a hit.
So now Nate Humphreys, first pitch swinging, got under it, sends it along the left field line. It will get foul. I was just going to get ready to say, for a guy like Humphreys stepping in, this TrackMan stuff's pretty fun to have some numbers on him. He's probably, I'd say, one of the hottest bats for the Commodores as of late. Pretty remotely down in either the 7, 8, or 9 spot in the order for Jeff Trundy. Coach Trundy, 498 career regular season wins, as we mentioned. A good chance to set up tomorrow at home against Whitey for number 500. Humphreys on this offering got underneath it, just off the infield. Ruben cruising into short center field will make the play on the pop out. Rule that one a pop out 6 on the out, the first out of the inning for the Doors here in the second.
Yeah, just got out in front of it and didn't do a great job of staying through that pitch, but that's a tough pitch to hit, a backdoor slider like that. That was located pretty well, and you got to be sitting on it to hit it well, and he wasn't.
So now it is Gavin Turley, to this point, 0 of 16 for the Commodores. Not a number he likes to see. The Beaver had himself a tremendous year in Corvallis as he takes this one a little bit inside. But the numbers don't lie for Turley. He slugged .664 this year in the Pac-12, 14 bombs on 46 RBIs, all in his rookie year, by the way. So you know it's only a matter of time. Cade Snell getting picked on over there. With Johnny Olmstead keeping tabs, he's back in there safely. But you have to think, Zach, that at some point, this bat for the Commodores is going to break out.
And he's had a few days off. You wonder if that might help him out a little bit. Try and reset things.
This one a chopper to third. They might be able to roll 2. 5, 4, the throw. Turley's too fast. The 3 not in time. Rule that one a 5, 4, 3 fielder's choice on that one. So Turley will switch spots with Cade Snell at first base. And that is the second out of the inning.
Let's see if the bottom of the order can get going the way it was when the Doors were red hot. And when their offense has been so good, it's been because they've gotten the production 1 through 9 and not just the top of the order. You had the production in 1, 2 back the first time through the lineup. You're going to see them again in just a minute if Tab Tracy can keep this inning alive.
Tab Tracy himself been a little bit in and out of the lineup with all this haul of the outfield coming and going for Falmouth. A couple of those guys include Joe Redfield, not here getting ready for the MLB draft, just committed to Georgia, transferring out of Sam Houston State. When you hit over 400, you're deserving of jumping up to a power conference like that in the SEC and working with Charlie Condon maybe, depending on how the draft works out and all that. You and I were talking, we expect him to not step in to Athens there and play college baseball next year.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. He definitely has a lot of draft stock as well, so he's going to have some decisions to make in the next few days.
Lebowski here, the offering in the 2-0, drops a breaking pitch in there at 77 for a strike to Tab Tracy. He had himself a rookie campaign this past year at Texas A&M. Lebowski, another step off here, a look back over to first. With Turley, again, a little bit more speed than Cade Snell, tonight's designated hitter. Now you offer your left fielder in there, who's got a lot of speed himself. The 2-1. Tracy a little late on it. He'll make it 2-2.
He chased that fastball outside. It's just a little bit further out than where the slider was and tried to reach for it. Didn't come up with it.
So now Lebowski here battling back to make it 2-2, trying to strand another base runner here for the Commodores. That's Gavin Turley standing on first base. Coming set in the 2-2. Fastball jumped off the plate, the outer third. And now it's a full count. And with Gavin Turley's speed, he will be going on the pitch. Maybe anything through here, you could go first to third and present a chance to flip the lineup card. That's Christian Martin, the Hokie, waiting on deck. Led off the ball game with a base hit. Leboki comes set, Turley goes. The pitch jammed on it for Tracy. Trailing out into short left is Ruben. He'll make another pop out himself to retire the Commodores. Another runner stranded for the Doors, who are still looking for their first run of the game. It's 1-0 for the Firebirds. We'll step away on the Commodores Radio Network. Ready for the bottom of the second, Michael Barnett going out there. But before the action, we send it to Destiny for an update on Cape Cod Healthcare.
Cape Cod Healthcare is proud to be the official healthcare provider of the Cape Cod Baseball League and shares a reminder that blood donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod. Help save the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/blood center. Cape Cod Healthcare, caring, commitment, community.
Thank you for that update, Destiny. Zach, we were just joking a second ago. I said at the top of the broadcast, no fog, we don't think today, but now we're starting to see it roll in a little bit from center field.
Yeah, it's coming in. This is the other place on the Cape where you're going to see a lot of fog, and it's coming back. That's why a game like this, tonight we're already started, and so if it comes in and it gets bad, you want to be in the lead.
I was going to say, fifth inning is not that far away with Falmouth trailing, obviously very early in the ball game, 1-0. Speaking of center field, 434 to straightaway center. The left field line's 300 and right field is 314. It is like a rhombus, a polygon out there. I mean, it's just like all different shapes and sizes out there to the different markers here at Eldredge Park.
Just crazy dimensions.
I wish we had the dimensions written at the Gov to see how far everything is. Obviously, we could find out by asking, but it is nice to see it and make that note. I mean, right center is 359. Then you have another 80-something odd feet to go to center. The 0-1 here to the bat, Justin Rubin. He was pretty busy at shortstop that inning.
He was. He's been good. 3 for 4 in his short time with the Firebirds. I think that'll play, Matt.
Yeah, I think you're right. Rubin coming in here now. A couple of at-bats, as Zach just said here, getting into his Cape League season. Barnett, full stretch, chops right back to us. Could have caught it there with my right hand if it weren't for the netting in front of us. Makes it 1-2.
Yeah, it might have to catch some Casper the Ghost powers on the way over here for you to catch that one. But, you know, sometimes it's a thought that counts.
Well, we talked about it, trying to still get one of those in-action balls to come over the net here. And I got one in batting practice. Doesn't really count, but still looks the same with the 100 Centennial logo. The 1-2, late decision to swing, and it's going to get through the infield. That's a base hit for Justin Rubin, and he leads off the bottom of the second with another base runner for the Firebirds.
When you're hot, you're hot. That was a really good swing there, even with the late decision to go at it. It's a slider that's really well located at the knees and just pokes it right through the middle.
The Cavalier out of Virginia, about 2 hours south in Charlottesville, where I used to live. Grew up down there in the Virginia area. Good to see a couple of Cavaliers, actually, including one right here, Colin Tuft, now in the box. Tuft in left field today in the 8th spot in the order for Kelly Nicholson. Barnett again having to work out of the stretch with some guys to contend against. But he takes that one upstairs, making it 1-0. Barnett had a strikeout in that inning. You'd like to see him find good mix here for getting these base runners out, and they got Rubin caught in a pickle. McGregor chasing him down. The throw has him in a pickle here, and Christian Martin will do it himself and tag him running back to first base. Great heads-up awareness by the right-hander for the Commodores, and we'll have to track how that pickle goes down with the different numbers coordinating back and forth, but nonetheless, a good job on the bases so far by Falmouth defensively.
Both hits for Orleans have been retired by way of the caught stealing, or at least both leadoff hits for the Birds. But at the end of the day, you just want to find a way to get through innings. And Barnett giving up the one unearned run, there's still nothing hurt in this point in the game. There's still plenty of time left for your offense. And we talked earlier about the unpredictableness of the fog, Matt. It was bad a minute ago. Now it's gone.
It's moving beyond right field now, what it looks like. With Barnett now the 1-1 slider. Did he go? Check down to first. No, he did not. Makes it 2-1. A hitter's count here for Tuft, who now suddenly has nobody on board to work with. Talked about Tough being one of those Cavaliers. There's several of them here. 234 hitter this year in the ACC with the Virginia Cavaliers. The 2-1. A little bit late on this heater. He sends it straight back to the screen online at the press box here at Eldredge Park, and it's 2-2.
It's a good pitch. Maybe caught a little bit too much plate there, but Tough just fouling it back. And when you're throwing the fastball with that kind of life that Barnett is, sometimes you can get away with a pitch in that location.
Luke Heyman giving him the sign here. Maybe he wants to speed it up a little bit here. With Barnett coming set at the shoulder, the leg kick and the pitch. Went with the hot stuff. And if it was up, it was just barely up. That one looked pretty good from here. That makes the count full.
Yeah, maybe just a touch outside at the letters, but it was close.
He's had a decent feel for that changeup, Zach. We'll see what he wants to go to here in the full count offering. Barnett, big deep breath. And the pitch. Fastball upstairs, swing and a miss. 89 there, not the hottest we've seen from Barnett, but it's still the same result. Strikeout number 2 for the UCLA right-hander. That's the second out of the inning.
When you can throw the fastball in that location, it's so tough because it's right at the letters. It's right on the border of whether it's a strike or not, but it's really hard to get the hands to it in the batter's box. And so Tough with a big swing at it, but comes up empty.
Henry Hunter, the 9-man in the order, 178 hitter so far here in the Cape League out of Alabama Birmingham. As he'll try to be the last bit of life here for the Firebirds in the second. First pitch swinging, lined the opposite way right at Bazana. He'll make the play moving to his left. Couple of hard-hit balls, Zach, but the Commodores get them to go 1-2-3 in funny order of a pickoff at first. And that sharp line drive paired with a strikeout. The Birds go 1-2-3. We go to the third. Falmouth still trailing by 1 here on the Commodores Radio Network. Out there for his third inning of work against the Commodores is a Vanderbilt Commodore. It's going to be Sam Leboke doing it once again. Leading off for the Commodores, 1-2-3. Christian Martin, Travis Bazana, and Kyle DeBarge. A couple of relatively productive at-bats for those three gentlemen. You had the Christian Martin base hit into right, a bunt base hit by Bazana following, then a sharp line drive by Kyle DeBarge. So you like the way those three guys look to lead off the ball game, and now trailing by 1. You'd like to see sort of the same.
Yeah, you had back-to-back hits and then a ball almost 100 off the bat. You can't do much better. And the Doors are trying to repeat it here, except for trying to get a run across and, at the very least, even up this ball game.
Well, over this stretch of games for Falmouth, really climbing back into this battle in the West as this changeup misses a little bit low. This Falmouth team's 4th in the league in hits at 185, also 4th in runs driven in. And as you see this fastball up and away from Leboke, when you have efforts like 12-2 wins and you have 13-4 wins against teams like Chatham and big, ugly numbers, you expect your numbers to increase rather drastically and exponentially, and that really is what's happened for Falmouth as this pitch is in there for a strike.
Yeah, they've continued to improve and continue to put up big games. But the thing that I've really liked over this stretch is even when they're not putting up massive numbers, they're staying in ball games.
Martin watches this one tail a little bit off the plate. Looked like that was the changeup trying to get back and get that one. It makes it 3-1 now. Hitters count for Martin. Takes that one off the plate. Same spot. Looked to be the slider that time. And Martin works a 5-pitch walk to lead off the inning.
That's what you like to see. You take the pitch on the outside on the pitch before, and it's further out that time. Not really a thought of it.
Bazana, a couple pitches into the at-bat, was given the bunt sign down the third base line, got it down and beat it out. Didn't even draw a throw from Jack Penny when he came in to field that one. It almost gave trouble to him just a little bit. But a lot of speed here on the base and in the box of Bazana. Slider again, flirting with the outer third, can't get it. It's 1-0.
Yeah, he just can't find that pitch right now. He's really struggling to catch that edge.
The changeups looks rather decent, and the fastball's got that life that you were talking about. The 1-0. That one right down Broadway at 81. That time he slowed it down just a bit, evening the count at 1.
That's a really good slider.
Leboki quickly, as he came set, decided to go back on Martin. He gets in there diving with Johnny Olmstead keeping tabs. Leboki coming set from the stretch. This one's lined down the left field line. It'll get down for a base hit. It'll be extra bases. Rounding second and on to third is Christian Martin. And standing up there safely at second, it's a bases offering on the double. Just like that, Bazana the other way sets up Falmouth third and second with nobody out.
Top of the order continuing to produce for the Doors. Let's see if DeBarge can come through. This is the part of the order that Leboki was able to escape through last time. You want to, at the very least, score one this inning, if not bring them both in.
Travis Bazana right now is offering at a high rate here. You look back at the home run he had on the July 4th / July 6th game. Had a home run in that game, a double here. The extra bases starting to come for the Beaver, who stands there at second. Henry Hunter wants to have a discussion, as does the pitching coach here today for the Firebirds. Drawing a conversation with the Commodores, threatening here in the top of the third. We talked about it a second ago, the way they started this ball game, productive at-bats. Those two right now, 3 for 3 in 4 at-bats.
And they've been exactly what the doctor ordered for Falmouth to start games early. At the top of the order, not with John Spikerman like we've seen over the little bit. He's getting the day off, and so you get Christian Martin in there, and he picked up right where Spike left off. It's exactly what you're looking for.
We said that DeBarge second on the team in RBIs coming into this game at 9. A base hit here would get him to be in a 3-way tie for the lead at the top for the Commodores at 11. That would obviously be great for him personally, but even greater, give Falmouth the lead here at Eldredge Park with a very scary and dangerous bat awaiting on deck right in front of us here in Tyler McGregor. The mound visit has ended, and we will continue on here with Leboki coming set on the rubber. The pitch, fastball, outer third, in there for a strike to the Ragin' Cajun in the box, Kyle DeBarge. Been a little busy at shortstop. A couple of putouts, also given an error to this point in the ball game.
And he got a slider that Leboki tried to go to the front door against him last time.
Going up the ladder here at 88, up and away. It'll get foul into the lawn here, and a ton of kids going after that one. A nice little souvenir for those guys. 1-1.
I like that sequence to start off for Leboki. You start with the slider, then you go upstairs with the fastball, and are able to put yourself in a really good spot.
I checked that. It's 0-2 on that one with DeBarge. A little late on that one. Leboki's got him right where he wants him here. And go to several different offerings here. He comes set at the waist. A couple lead steps with his front foot, and now he fires. This one, driven on a sharp line. That one is going to get down. It's a base hit. The game will certainly be tied. Bazana's got to stop at third, and it is an RBI that we were talking about for DeBarge. Number 10 on the season, ties the ball game at 1.
Another ball that was roped. He went back to the slider, but he left it middle, and you can't do that to a hitter like DeBarge. He hit that one really hard, and Bazana had to hold because Eddie King has so much speed in center field, and he gave that a good run, but Bazana holding up, and there we go.
Sensing the bit of momentum swaying in favor of the guys in the black jerseys, Kelly Nicholson's going to make a pitching change here. Leboki's day is done as 3 consecutive Commodores have found a way to reach, and more importantly, the ball game is now tied. Still nobody out. They're on the corners. We'll be right back with a new pitching change here at Eldredge Park on the Commodores Radio Network. The new arm is a left-hander to go up against Tyler McGregor, the lefty for the Commodores. Out of Northwood, but getting ready to transfer to West Virginia and Morgantown. It's the sharp-throwing lefty, Derek Clark.
Yeah, he's got that fastball that can get up to about 89, 90, and he can really work it. He was good with the Timberwolves in Northwood the last couple of years, winning GLIAC Pitcher of the Year back in 2021. As a freshman, he's been really good out there. Northwood Division II ball up in Michigan, now headed to West Virginia, making quite a big jump from the GLIAC to the Big 12, though.
That's true. His numbers there, 104 over 19 strikeouts to walks. You like those chances of translating. That one just barely got a piece of the elbow guard on McGregor. He knew it right away. First pitch hits McGregor, and now they're fully loaded. 4 straight Commodores have reached here in the third to set up a massive spot for the newest Commodore in Luke Heyman.
I think that was going to be ruled a hit by pitch anyways, but McGregor made sure to let everybody know, hey, that hit me. And he gets to head down to first.
The Husky's a big, tough guy there, 6'3", 215, but he'll be the first to tell you if it means that he can get on base to move the line. Now a massive spot for Luke Heyman. First pitch, left on right battle on the outer third, not coming back there. Looked like that was the changeup at 79. Makes it 1-0. Heyman again, now 0 for 4 officially here with the Commodores, looking for not only his first hit, but just a major chance to step into this lineup and provide. The offering here, he takes that one at 89, a fastball right down the middle. Heyman steps out of the box, gives a nod back to the dugout, seeing the baseball rather well there. I haven't minded his at-bats despite the 0 for 4 start, Zach.
And he told me, he said he's seeing the ball really, really well, and it's just about getting his swing back to be able to make good contact.
The Florida Gator in the box takes the 1-1, driven on the ground, flirting with the middle. It's going to be played by Oyama. It might be an unassisted. It is. Double play. The run comes in to give Falmouth the lead. An unassisted 4-3 double play. Picks up a pair of outs. He does not get credited with the RBI, but it does make it 2-1 for the Doors.
Good job by Oyama to get that. Orleans just trying to limit the damage, but for Falmouth, you'll take this. You're getting yourself a lead, and you're continuing to build yourself back in front and keep swinging the bat well. A chance to add even more right here with Snell.
Cade Snell watches that slider come back over the middle for a strike. Now back to a left-on-left battle for Derek Clark. Kyle DeBarge now stands at third. So from the bases juiced with nobody out, now you got a runner 90 feet away with 2 gone. Good offering there. Fastball lower third there. That one's in there for a strike, and quickly, 0-2.
That's a really nice pitch. Finds that outside edge, and see if he goes right back to that breaking ball that he started Snell with.
A shake of the head from Clark. Now he gets into the motion. The pitch. Tried to drop the slider. Did he get the check swing? No, he did not. Really healthy and good take there by Snell. Makes it 1-2.
That's a perfect placement for that slider against a lefty because he can't do anything with that except for roll it over or hit it right into the ground. Snell does a nice job take it.
The 1-2 driven on the line. That's going to be down for a base hit. RBI single for Cade Snell. Easily into scores DeBarge. And the Commodores have put up 3 here in the top of the third. And it's a 2-run lead for the good guys.
Went back to that fastball and probably should have stuck with the slider because Snell was all over that heater.
Cade Snell did not miss that one. Sharply on a line into left center. Now he stands at first base. And Nate Humphreys will get a chance to bat. The 7th Commodore to bat here in this top of the third inning. Gavin Turley awaits on deck. Back to a left on left. Derek Clark, couple of looks. And now the offering. Pulled the string. Big cut and a miss there from Humphreys out of Dallas Baptist. And now he's quickly behind 0-2.
The slider is working for Clark right now. We'll see if he keeps going to it. He got hurt the last time he went to the fastball after it. I think he's going to go right back to it.
The 0-2 goes to it and gets the same result. 3 pitches, all sliders. That one for a swinging strike 3, but not before the Commodores send 3 men across home plate to give the Doors a 2-run lead. We go to the bottom of the third here on the Commodores Radio Network. Big inning by Falmouth. Now the Doors trying to put up a 0 here to keep the momentum on their side. Will be tough, though, because we're back to the top of the order for the Firebirds with Joe Ayama stepping in. Had that big, unassisted 4-3 double play. A run still came in to score, but that really kept Falmouth from putting up an even bigger number. Change up here missing a little bit low to Ayama there in the left-handed box. Had a base hit last time, but Luke Heyman gunned him out trying to steal second. The offering, fastball, loud pop of the glove. It still missed off the plate, though. 2-0, a hitter's count here for Ayama.
Not the guy you want to fall behind.
Yeah, that is true. Oyama just steps in, already 1 for 1, a 362 hitter entering today's action. He chops one right down by the shortstop DeBarge. He'll make the play just barely. Oyama, a lot of speed there out of the box, but it is a 6-3, 1 away.
Can't ask for much better than that. A really good placement. Throws that sinker on the outer part of the plate to the lefty, and he just couldn't get through it enough and sent it towards DeBarge.
Good start for the Commodores here in the inning, and now Johnny Olmstead will step in. A routine ground ball to third, but it ate up. Bazana had some trouble with it on the error. Was able to advance to second because the throw was not very good. But he steps in now with 1 away here in the bottom of the third. First pitch, fastball lower third, in there for a strike.
When he can locate like that, painting the black, that's when you're going to see him have success. Those first 2 innings, he was leaving some pitches over the plate, and that's where the Firebirds were really making him pay.
Big deep breath. The offering here pulled the string. A nice cut there on the slider, but he came up empty quickly, 0-2. A pair of strikeouts already from Michael Barnett to this point. You'd like to see him maybe find another one here and just himself have a nice, almost foot on the throat here to try to keep this offense of Orleans a little bit quiet here. The 0-2. Tried to work him backwards. Fastball low away. Didn't get the call. He looked a little relaxed there receiving the baseball back from Heyman. I think he thought he maybe got that call. Olmstead, a big guy, though, there in the box.
These two are definitely familiar with each other right now. USC, UCLA. Pulled
the string, and that is a sharp line drive knock at the shortstop. Check that, the third baseman in Bazana. He's out on the play, 2 gone.
Nice job by Bazana to make that play. That one took a big candy hop to him, and he's moving towards first base on that play. Able to make a nice throw to get Olmstead.
5-3 on the putout. Good recovery there from Bazana. Got a second offering at it from Olmstead himself. And this time, that Pac-12er over there out of Oregon State wins the battle against a Pac-12er in Johnny Olmstead. 2 up, 2 down here for Jack Penny. How the fielder's choice ground out last time. Slider low and in. Gets away from Heyman. No one on base, though. 1-0.
Got a lot of West Coast guys playing here in the East Coast all summer, but in this game particularly, you've got Oyama's UC Irvine, Olmstead USC, Hallback UC San Diego. You've got Barnett from UCLA on the mound.
Fastball up and away from that guy out of UCLA on the mound. Got the strike, evening the count at 1. But it is pretty cool to see that. Been accustomed to seeing a lot of these guys out there in the Pac-12 with Arizona State baseball, and pretty good years for several of these teams that we're now seeing offering their individual talent here in the Cape League. Nice pull of the string there on the slider. Coming up empty was Penny. And again, give credit where it's due. A couple of ground ball outs. And now a strike away for Barnett. Trying to respond after that 3-run inning from his offense here. Barnett out of the stretch, set at the shoulders. The pitch lined sharply on the backhand. It just gets away from Kyle DeBarge. It'll be a base hit the other way. Just went out of the reach of his glove. I would think that's a base hit here, Zach. It's a 2-out knock for Penny. He's on for the first time today.
Really good piece of hitting. Change up away at the knees, and similar to what we saw earlier with Cade Snell, he just sends it the other way. That one hit a lot harder, though. 98 off of the bat of Jack Penny.
You never want to give a guy who drove in nearly 40 runs at school this year an opportunity in the inning, and that's what has presented Matt Hallback with the opportunity. The designated hitter tonight, batting cleanup for the Firebirds. First pitch swinging, though, slicing along the right field line, charging in and right is Tab Tracy, and in foul territory, he makes the play just a couple of feet in front of the fans here along the hill. Outside of a 2-out base hit, the Commodores set down the Firebirds rather quickly, and it's 3-1 as we get ready to move on to the fourth here on the Commodores Radio Network. Getting ready for the top of the fourth inning here. The Commodores with that big inning in the third make it 3-1 here at Eldredge Park. But around the Cape League, action continues, and Destiny Sanchez has the scores.
Thank you, Matt. The YD Red Sox lead the Wareham Gatemen 6-2 in the bottom of the seventh. The Hyannis Arborhawks are ahead of the Brewster Whitecaps 3-0 in the top of the fifth. The Bourne Braves lead the Harwich Mariners 4-0 in the top of the sixth. And the Katsua Kettleers and Chatham Anglers game has been canceled.
Thank you, Destiny. And my goodness, those poor anglers right now are working with double headers already scheduled, off days being lost. We were talking to Joe and Andrew, their broadcasters, yesterday, saying they've had one legitimate off day. That's it, because all the games have gotten canceled.
And they're not going to have any more of those either, because just the fog, man. They start their games at 7 o'clock there at Veterans Field, and the fog just keeps rolling in right now. I wonder if they're going to try and switch things up, or if they're just going to keep rolling with it.
Well, I'm not quite sure, but something might have to change. I mean, we don't expect the Cape League, if games keep getting canceled, to extend the season another week into August. That probably won't happen. You and I were actually saying it could be maybe win percentage based, but at the end of the day, I mean, these guys are just not getting baseball games in.
Yeah, they won't extend the season because you're getting to a point where guys are going to have to get back to class. And so you have to be able to be done by the middle of August with your championship, which the league will be, but it's going to make it interesting.
Yeah, Zach and I are just dying to get back to class. Sure. As that one is taken there to make it a 1-2 count now to Gavin Turley, trying to get himself going here. He reached on a fielder's choice in his first appearance. Derek Clark still out there, went up the ladder, swing and a miss. Turley strikes out swinging, and his little bit of a slump here to continue the year continues one away.
Clark's good. There's a real reason why he's moving up from a Division II school to the Big 12, and why it was so important for the Doors to get to him early when he entered in that spot. You're able to bring in a couple of runs and get yourself a lead, and hopefully you can let your pitchers go out there and settle things down.
First pitch swinging is Tracy. It's chopped to Oyama on the run. The throw in time.
He's silky smooth over there. He's a real good ball player.
I've liked what I've seen from Joe Oyama today with the base hit. A couple of good plays there at second. It is 3-1 for Falmouth, but again, that double play that he made could have kept 4, maybe even 5 runs in that inning off the board by his efforts single-handedly. And with that 4-3 ground ball out, the lineup card flips to the top with Christian Martin getting in. He's reached in both tries today. Fastball outer third, 90 on the gun in there for a strike.
There were a lot of ground balls to sing it the last time these two teams played here as well. Travis Mazzana had what felt like 100 of them hit at him.
Derek Clark, full wind here with no one on. Spikes a slider there in the dirt. Makes it 1-1. This part of the lineup for Falmouth, and Christian Martin and Travis Mazzana waiting on deck. The best part of this team so far in this game, 4 for 4 in terms of getting on base. That comes across with 3 hits and a walk. The 1-1 went up the ladder, up and in. Good take there by Christian Martin. The Hokies had some really good productive baseball here for the Commodores, right there at the tippy top in RBIs for this team. Hit just under 350 this year at school in Blacksburg. The pitch chopped on the ground to first on the pull side, nearly ate up Olmstead, but he'll do it himself and recovers nicely. The Commodores go very, very quickly with a strikeout and 2 ground balls to end the inning. The Doors 1-2-3 here in their half of the fourth, with Orleans' fourth inning coming up on the other side here at Eldredge Park. ready for the bottom of the fourth inning. The first leadoff bat here in the fourth for Orleans, down to the 5 spot in the order. Fenwick Tremble had a base hit in that first inning that saw a run come across, the only run of the game so far for the Firebirds. With Michael Barnett out there for his fourth inning of work, he settled in rather nicely here to this point. Goes down fishing. Does Tremble there on that slider. Really good pitch there. And again, ahead and working well here. 0-2.
And you don't want to say this at this point, but you want to be quick here if you're Falmouth because the fog is coming back in.
Another one. Slider in the dirt. Swung on and missed. Makes it 1-2. I apologize. Again, the scoreboard not having it up here makes it a little confusing. The home plate umpire only does the hand signals every so often. It is 1-2. Here in the at-bat to Fenwick Tremble. Barnett trying to help me out here. The pitch. It's that same slider, but just barely getting a piece of it here. And we continue on with the 1-2. But as you mentioned, Zach, the fog will be a big part of it. Again, you have to get through that 5th inning here. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Commodores on top 3-1 to this point. Out of the stretch, the pitch just barely chopped it again. It's that slider going away to the right-handed bat here. That's 4 consecutive on that offering. And for what it's worth, Zach, I mean, again, as a hitter, he's not putting it where you can hit it. You just have to find a way to battle.
Exactly, and that's a pitch you can take, but the rest of them have been right by the zone.
Barnett tried to speed him up. Good effort there to foul it off and send it straight back. Fenwick Tremble to see 71, 71 consistently and then 89. I mean, it's not the hottest fastball in the world, but it's noticeably
different. It sure
different.
looks like it when you see 4 sliders in a row and then you see an elevated fastball.
Michael Barnett out of UCLA comes set on the mound. The pitch pulled the string again. It's chopped on the ground to DeBarge. It's short. Long throw across the diamond in time. Tyler McGregor this time gets a foot on the bag, and that is the first out of the inning.
Good battle by Trimble there, but he's an aggressive hitter, as you saw throughout that at-bat. He doesn't walk much, only 2 walks this summer. The way you beat a guy like that, you make him fish, and that's what Barnett did consistently in that at-bat.
Eddie King Jr. will now step in with 1 away in the inning. Out of Louisville is Eddie King Jr. to this point. 6 hits in 41 at-bats for Kelly Nicholson and the Firebirds. He stands rather tall there in the right-handed batter's box. Slight circling of the bat over his shoulder. Waited on that one. He drives it out to relatively deep left center. Gavin Turley, in the midst of the fog, is able to track that one and make the play. He looks like a different shade of color right now with the fog. It is really settled in here into left center.
It got really thick really quickly, and that's not good.
I mean, it is moving in quickly now. It's even in on the infield a little bit. You can kind of barely see Christian Martin.
But it's starting to clear a little bit as you look. It's moving from left to right, and left field looks a lot clearer now than it did when that ball was just hit.
So again, working quickly, probably you want to work quicker than when we said you got to work quickly. Now with the fog certainly being in effect here. Again, the umpire standing firm here. You maybe, if it continues to roll, maybe after this half inning, you could maybe see a conversation. But nonetheless, I think both teams know that the 5th inning is that magic line here. Slider coming in on the inside third. Nice front door breaking ball in there for a strike. Justin Rubin not a fan of it. Makes it 1-1.
And the fog comes and goes because, like I was just saying, left field looks pretty clear now compared to what it looked like a minute and a half ago. It was, and you could barely see it.
The wind was blowing out to right. Now it's not blowing at all. Pitch here, fastball right there for a strike. Justin Rubin circling out of the right-handed box, nodding as he leaves the box, and now he'll step in, adjusting his cleats there in the dirt. Couple waggles with his bat before coming set with a pretty aggressive knee bend. There on the right side, Barnett, the pitch, got him to swing in the dirt. Heyman's got to complete the putout. He steps out and fires very high. The throw is up. That one is going to be reaching on the strikeout. You'll have to rule that an error on Heyman. And now you got a runner aboard despite the strikeout.
And you talked about working quickly. That's not going to help, but Heyman's frustrated with himself there. He probably could have just went to the outside and been a little safer, but he went inside, and he went very far inside. Took a little too much time maybe. Gave himself some time to think about it and sailed it. And it's not easy to sail a guy like McGregor at first base.
6'3", 215 as we talked about. So now you get a chance for the first time this season. Try to see the Commodores get 4 outs in an inning. They've already recorded 3, but 2 officially because of that drop third that was not completed. First pitch here misses a little bit low at 89 on the fastball, makes it 1-0.
I'm sure some coaches would argue that there have been plenty of times where they've had 4 outs with some errors, but this time you actually get a close spot with it.
Barnett trying to shake it off here. He goes with the fastball low and away. Makes it 2-0. And I mean, if there was a fourth out that you'd be satisfied with having it have to happen, it would, I guess, be one of those drop third situations, depending if it's a wild pitch that kind of gets away, you get the swing and miss, and it goes to the backstop. But those errors, you can't let them bite you. Fastball, cut on and missed. Really aggressive hack from Colin Tuft for the first strike of the at-bat, 2-1.
That's the pitch you want. To get back in the count, you're throwing the fastball, but you're not putting it right over the heart of the plate. You're making the hitter have to hit it in a tough spot if they want to hit it.
Barnett comes set there out of the stretch. Glove raised up near his head. Check swing, did he go? Behind the plate, getting the call. Yes, he did. 2-2. That time he showed off the slider, which, by the way, to Barnett's credit and for Heyman's as well. I mean, it has looked really good here this second time through the order. It's tough to keep that in front of you when it bites as much as it does as it's approaching the catcher's mitt of Luke Heyman, and now the count's 2-2. The pitch, fastball outer third. No. Barnett was walking off the mound. He thought he got the call, and he's chuckling on his way back to the mound. The count is full.
Yeah, that one was out, but it was a good pitch and a good spot, just a little bit outside.
Got to be careful, though, with Colin Tuft out of Virginia. You don't want to give any of these Cape League hitters a chance here. He drove one ball out of the yard with 17 RBIs there in Charlottesville. The 3-2 pitch. This one's driven out to relatively deep right center. Going back is Humphreys, cruising under it. He'll make the play. So despite the drop third error behind the plate by Luke Heyman, the Commodores do record all 4 outs needed and don't give up any runs. We move on to the 5th with the fog sort of swirling around a little bit. You'd like the Commodores to maybe add some more insurance before getting through the 5th inning. It's still 3-1 Doors on our way to the 5th here from Eldredge Park. Getting ready for the top of the 5th, trying to continue on playing baseball with the Commodores bats coming up. But first, a message from Destiny Sanchez about a Hall of Fame event coming up.
Thank you, Matt. This Wednesday, the Cape Cod Baseball League is hosting a hot stove event on July 12th to benefit the Bring Back the Hall campaign. The panel will feature Cape League Hall of Famers Peter Gammons and Ron Darling, as well as former Red Sox pitcher Jim Lomborg. This event will be held at the Moose Lodge in South Yarmouth with doors opening at 6:30 p.m. Tickets are extremely limited with under 100 remaining. Purchase yours today at capecodbaseballleague.org.
The doors opening for that event. The Doors have opened up the offense here in that 3rd inning. 3 runs came across for Falmouth, and now that lead still stands. It's 3-1. Getting ready for the top of the 5th inning. 2-3-4, and Travis Bazzana, Kyle DeBarge, and Tyler McGregor due up. All 3 of those guys in their last ABs found a way to reach. Bazzana first pitch swinging. He cracks one into deep right center. Giving chase is Trimble. It'll go off the wall. And it does go. I couldn't quite tell. They make the play. It was a ground rule double, it looks like, with Bazzana cruising into second. I'm going to blame the fog on that one. It's a little bit tough to see out there in the reactions.
It's also a way of the park, and there's a few leagues or parks in this league that are like this. It's a clear fence, and so you can't tell whether that ball bounced over or landed over, but the bullpen all threw up their hands.
Kyle DeBarge does his best effort to put one out into right. It hangs up a little bit. Big throw coming from Eddie King Jr. with Bazzana standing up there. He goes on to third. It's a sacrifice from DeBarge, a productive first out with Tyler McGregor getting ready to stand in.
A double and a line out there, seeing Clark much better than they were before.
I mean, again, you talk about 1, 2, 3 being very productive in this game so far for Falmouth. Already 5 hits between those 3 guys, and they're just getting ready now that was just their third set of at-bats. It's been incredible what 1-2-3's done today.
And Bazana's 3 for 3 with a pair extra base hits.
Line drive right at the shortstop, Ruben. The infield was in a little bit, so it was right at Ruben to make the play. A quick throw to get back at Bazana, but he's in there standing. And now there's 2 out.
3 pitches in this inning, and all 3 of them have been barreled. You've got a double that bounced over the wall out in right center, and then a line out to center field and a line out to the shortstop.
I mean, we said you maybe want to work quickly with the fog. Not really quite what I had envisioned, but it is coming to fruition here. Now Luke Heyman needing something through and safely to make it 4-1 for the Doors. He takes this first one off the plate and away, 1-0.
Even if you're getting out like those last 2 swings, you'll take those any day of the week. Those are really good swings, hard-hit baseballs, just happen to be right at gloves.
Breaking ball, got that one as well to even the count 1-1. Heyman 0 for 2 today, a couple of ground balls. The big one, though, was that double play unassisted by Oyama last time up. Drops one on the outer third, another one of those sliders checking in there in the back door. And it makes it now 1-2. Derek Clark out of the full wind. The pitch got him to chase after it, chopping it straight back to us and foul.
It's a really good pitch. A changeup low, and Heyman kind of lunging forward at it and just got a piece of it.
The fog is in pretty deep right field beyond the parking lot here at Eldredge Park. Can barely see the trees there beyond this ballpark. Swing and a miss at the fastball. Bazana stranded at third after that leadoff double. And the Commodores put up a 0 offensively. You'd like to see a 0 here defensively, depending on what Mother Nature has to offer us here at Eldredge Park on the east side of the Cape. Falmouth goes down quickly again with all those quick pitches and a 0 on the board. We'll take a quick break here on the Commodores Radio Network. Bottom fifth, getting ready to go here. 9-1-2 due up for Kelly Nicholson and the Orleans Firebirds. We were talking off the air, Zach. Massive half inning here for the Commodores. You've got to protect the lead here, given what could happen throughout the rest of the uncertain part of this ball game.
Well, and the fog is supposed to get worse as the night goes on. The visibility is going to continue to decline here. And so if you can get through 5 with a lead, that's ideal.
Henry Hunter lined out his last time. He pops one up. Slicing foul, heads up to the cars right behind us here. It's a one lane in both direction, probably about, I'd say, maybe 10 feet behind us here at Eldredge Park.
It definitely isn't far.
And, Zach, I parked by the school building up here. I mean, a foul ball flirting with the building right behind the press box area here to the right. Could get my rental car that I have here.
Yeah, I'm way out there. Somebody'd have to hit one probably like 450 out to left field to get mine.
Well, haven't seen anyone here yet clear that 434 straight away, so I think you're in good shape in terms of having a baseball go that far. It's 0-2 here from Barnett to Henry Hunter. Out of the stretch, the pitch chopped foul off of Heyman and then right back to the backstop. But the Commodores here trying to, again, hold on in this 5th inning, looking for win number 9 on the season, coming into this one a game and a half behind the Harbor Hawks in the West Division. Falmouth 8-12-2, Hyannis 10-11-1 to this point. As today begins the second half of the Cape season, Commodores in 5th in the division. Orleans was down in that spot. Now they moved up to 3rd in the East. This one chopped the 0-2. Martin, couple of pumps, delivers on the 4-3 put out to McGregor. That's that first out you were looking for. One away.
Barnett has been really impressive today. Just the one unearned run to this point. He's been locked in. He hasn't walked anybody. He's continued to command the zone. Even when he's fallen behind in counts, he's battled back.
Michael Barnett had a couple base runners get on there with those errors early on, but this is a guy who had the 2nd lowest whip for any UCLA Bruin pitcher this year. Also the 3rd lowest team ERA in over 45 innings of work. Very, very capable as he now is out there again for another start for Falmouth. Joe Ayama back to the top of the order. 1 for 2 today. Takes that one off the plate there. Looked to be the slider at 76. The 1-0. The pitch on the way. That slider came back over the middle to the left-handed bat of Ayama. He takes it for a called strike. Michael Barnett, again at UCLA. 31 strikeouts this year in his appearances. The offering kind of yanked that fastball into Ayama by his shoe tops there. Backhand pick by Luke Heyman. Hitters count 2-1. The UC Irvine Anteater and Joe Ayama in the box, representing the West Coast here. Breaking ball came back in, a very, very late decision to cut at that one as it goes foul. And the count is 2-2.
Yeah, just defensive there by Oyama, kind of swatting at it. We saw one of those swings work out pretty well earlier for Justin Rubin. Oyama's another guy that's been hot enough. You would expect it to work, but there it did not.
Ayama adjusting himself there in the box. Waggles that bat a little bit forward towards Barnett. The 2-2. One-handed finish. My goodness. That's going to get through for a base hit. Really slow one with Ayama aggressively rounding the base at first. He pulled it, but finished the swing with one hand, and that one gets through. That's just how hot this guy's been here in the Cape League.
Yeah, that's right on cue what we were talking about. A guy that just finds the hole and finds open spots. See how aggressive he is on the base paths with Heyman there, especially with the tying run at the plate in a spot like this.
You could say that again. He is aggressive, but unsuccessful in stealing bases today. Luke Heyman did his best part of tabbing him out there on that one. Heyman started 51 games this year for the Gators, en route to a College World Series Finals trip, with Johnny Olmstead fouling this one straight back. You had a conversation with Luke during batting practice today about him getting ready for the Cape season. After that College World Series, he didn't really do much baseball for a little bit.
No, he kind of took the week and a half-ish off and then made the trip up here with his family over the last few days and got in just after the 4th to get things going on the 5th, and now getting his first start behind the plate.
Full Evo Shield, blue and orange Florida Gator colors behind the plate, conflicting with the Commodores' black and maroon look here.
You see that a lot around the league. You got, for example, tonight, Hunter's in the UAB colors, although he'll be switching colors too. He's another guy that's transferring to Georgia, along with Redfield, and then Condon was there, both for the Doors, but you see that quite a bit.
The offering, fastball inside with the fog again, beginning to roll in here. This is rather good timing for Falmouth. Again, if the Doors can escape this inning here relatively quickly, there is one out with the base runner Yama at first. A ground ball would not be a bad thing right here to get the Doors out of the inning and then maybe have a discussion by the umpires.
I think the umpires know that too. They're going to try and get through this inning if they can.
It would be a crime to have this game be suspended with 2 outs needed before it could be called an official game.
It would certainly not be nice for the Commodores, but it's starting to clear up again. It's been back and forth.
The 2-1 here from Barnett on the way. Big hook stayed upstairs to Johnny Olmstead. Hitters count makes it 3-1.
Got to continue to battle back. He's done so to this point in the game. Needs a strike here.
Waiting on deck is Jack Penny. Had a base hit last time. 1 for 2 officially on the day here to Olmstead, the Trojan in the box. From the stretch, the pitch, fastball up and away. Olmstead started walking to first, and now he retreats with the count being full. You only typically see it with a full count, 2 out, putting a base runner in motion. With all that speed in Oyama, you actually could see him take off here. We'll see if the Commodores make note of that. Really aggressive primary lead from Oyama. He does not go. Fastball sent straight back. We'll do the 3-2 again.
Gotta wonder how long Barnett's going to be out there. His pitch count still looks good. He's looked good so far, but you got a man warming in the pen in Cassius Thomas, somebody that can throw it really well out of Duke, getting ready to make his Commodores debut. If Olmsted reaches here, you wonder if they'll think about it.
Thomas out of Duke could be a guy we see today. Oyama is going. This one's on the ground at third. Bazana, long throw across, makes the play to McGregor, who runs in on the infield now. Oyama was going on the pitch, so you really be tough to double him off anyways, but he's standing there at second with 2 out now.
And that's why you send the man in that situation, because if you hit the ground ball, instead of that being a quick 5-4-3 double play ball, instead, you're still batting in this inning.
Jack Penny now stands in at the left side. Long look at his barrel here, steps into the box. Again, we talked about 1 for 2. Pretty aggressive shift to the opposite side of the field. Christian Martin just a few feet off the outfield as he now, first pitch is sent foul. Martin is probably about 10 or 15 feet off of the right side of the second base bag, not near at all the pull side of the second base position here against the lefty. McGregor playing really, really tight to the first base bag, but deep with his heels touching the right field grass. Massive hole along the second base natural position here with the fog again continuing to roll. The 0-1 from Michael Barnett. He steps off. We'll look back at Oyama, who gets back in there at second. Fog maybe looks the worst we've seen it today, pretty much covering the area of the entire outfield now. Visibly looks a little bit tough to see everyone out there. The pitch off the plate at 81. It never really came back, kind of just stayed out there in a way. 1-1. The Doors needing one more out to have this game be marked an official ball game here, with Michael Barnett coming set on the rubber, lifted the leg in the pitch. Sent straight back, foul. It's 1-2.
Got to continue to attack the zone.
This would be an interesting way for Jeff Trundy to earn regular season career win number 499 in a game that only got just past the halfway point.
It's never the way you want to win a game, but you'll certainly take it.
That's true. A team like Falmouth right now trying to climb out of the basement in the West Division. A couple of flips forward to the bat from Jack Penny. The pitch, slider in towards the back foot. Good take there, makes it 2-2.
It's a really good take. That's a good pitch, though. Back foot slider can be tough to lay off of, especially when you're down in the count and trying to protect any way you can.
Penny staying honest up there in the box. Trying to work towards a pitch he can drive with Oyama standing there. A massive run there for the Firebirds standing at second. A lot of speed there, too. Anything through will cut the lead in half for sure. The 2-2 pitch. Slider again at the back foot and a good take. And an even better job by Heyman to keep it in front of him. And the count is now full. Back-to-back spots with a full count here worked against Michael Barnett.
Heyman was thinking about coming up throwing to try and backpick Oyama, but just couldn't field it cleanly.
Barnett coming set here. Long look into the glove of Heyman. The pitch. This one popped up a mile into the air on the infield. There is a play on it for Martin just off the second base bag, and he'll make the play. The Commodores hang a 0, and now the umpires are going to have a discussion. It's happening right in front of our eyes here. We are going to step away. Falmouth right now, if the game does get called, would be given the win. We'll let you know what that discussion has. But right now, you're happy if you're Falmouth. You have the lead after 5. We'll see if we're playing the 6th on the other side of the break here on the Commodores Radio Network with Zach Serdenik.
Top of the 6th inning, we're going to keep on playing as the fog keeps coming in at Eldredge Park. It's a 3-1 ball game. The Doors on top of Orleans with Cade Snell stepping up to the dish. It's Snell, Humphreys, and Turley to face Derek Clark, a former Northwood Timberwolf, on the mound, and the lefty goes to work against the lefty in Snell. Spikes the first pitch right into the ground. It's ball 1. Cade Snell's been good so far today. A couple of singles, including an RBI base hit off of Clark in the 3rd. Fastball runs inside, brushes him back, and it's quickly 2-0 to Snell. Started out at Auburn, then went to Wallace Community College, headed to Alabama for next season. Has that open stance from the left side. Clark from the wind. 2-0, elevated fastball. Snell comes up empty. Tried to chase that one upstairs, and it's 2-1.
Well, Zach, 88 is not the hardest thing in the world, but when it's up like that, it looks real tempting. Big cut and a miss.
Clark works quickly. Another fastball fouled back on the 2-1. Clark's worked back into this count. Evens it up 2-2. Lefty works from that windup. Big leg kick. The 2-2. Chopper on the ground to second. Oyama charges. Throws on the run in time. Silky smooth at second base for out number 1.
Well, a lot of his plays have been running in on the infield grass to come in and make that one. And to the credit of Snell, that slider was pretty low and away, and he was somehow able to still get his barrel enough on it to pull it towards that right side of the infield. If that's put along the third base line here, Zach, that's a tough play because it wasn't hit really hard. That's a nice play by Oyama to get the first down in the inning.
Here comes Nate Humphreys. He squares the bunt, tried to get it down the third base line, instead sends it right back to the pitcher. A long underhand flip from Clark to first base. Retires Humphreys, and 2 up, 2 down for the Doors in the top of the 6th.
Well, look, it's tough to get a drag bunt down the third base line like that when it's a fastball because, again, it's a hot at this level, and it's tough to get your barrel on it and glide it the right way. That one just bounced on one hop right back to Clark. He'll do it himself. That's as easy as they come for 2 up, 2 down.
Here's Gavin Turley. Outfielder out of Oregon State dances out of a fastball. It was coming in towards his ankles on the first pitch from Clark. The wind starting to pick up and the fog continuing to settle here in the valley on the bottom of the hill at Eldredge Park. The wind from Clark in the 1-0. Breaking ball upstairs, laid off of it 79 miles an hour on the slider to Turley. It's 2-0.
And that one up and in. Good take there.
Playing Turley to pull. Fastball low, it's 3-0. Olmstead well off that bag down the first base line.
Well, again, if you're Gavin Turley, you're just looking for anything here, and at least just seeing pitches and recognizing pitches early goes a long way.
Real Heater catches the edge on that outside fastball. It's 3-1. Oregon State Beaver digs back in. Open stance from the right side. Bends the knees in that batter's box. Fastball cut on and missed. Blows it by him at 89, and we're full.
Well, a pair of fastballs, now you're right back in it. And for Gavin Turley, again, you're just looking for anything here to get going.
3-2, swing and a miss. Clark battles all the way back, punches out Turley, and the Doors retired in order in the top of the 6th. We head to the bottom half from Eldredge Park on the Commodores Radio Network. Cassius Thomas into the ballgame to make his Falmouth Commodores debut. Alrighty, out of Duke. About to get going, Matt.
Yeah, he throws hard, really hard. But the issue with Thomas in his freshman campaign with the Blue Devils was that command, trying to just stick with it and find ways to throw strikes. Struck out 11 batters, but walked 8 in only 6 appearances. That was a total of 5 in an innings pitched. So look, again, the ERA, 3.38. He's got good stuff, partner. But again, if he can just locate the fastball and find the zone with that secondary and third stuff he likes to go to, you like what you got out of this young right-hander out of Duke.
Originally out of California, Sierra Canyon High School.
A couple famous athletes and their kids have gone to Sierra Canyon. LeBron James, to name one.
Yeah, Bronny headed to USC.
Another one of those Pac-12ers we were talking about.
And I think they're going to put a little bit of a delay on this one. They have told Cassius Thomas to stop, and they're going to wait for the fog to blow through. The wind is coming in, and Cassius Thomas, the guy I was talking to before the game yesterday, he was really itching to get out there and pitch, and if this game is called with him on the mound, he's going to be very frustrated.
How could he not be? He's a debut we've been waiting on, Zach, and he's just laughing walking on the mound right now. He got his warm-ups, and looks to be that's about it.
He is nothing but smiles, but you can tell that he's a little frustrated with that one. Jeff Trundy walking on out to talk with the umpiring crew. Kelly Nicholson being called out as well. I think they're going to make a decision here on what to do.
Well, look, you said it. You don't want games to end this way, but if you're Jeff Trundy, you're casually walking out to this mound visit or this umpire meeting. You're not, sitting there on the other side, oh, can we please get another half inning, give us a chance? You're leading right now. Kelly Nicholson, meanwhile, I'm sure he's probably going to want to find a way to play some more baseball.
And Jeff Trundy's walking away laughing. Trundy made a signal, crossing his hands like saying, that's it, it's game. We're going to find out what happens. He hasn't signaled to his players just yet.
Well, like you said, Jeff Trundy walked away. He is no longer there at the umpires meeting with Kelly Nicholson. He's still there talking.
At the very least, they are in a fog delay. Commodores players have come off the field. We're going to quickly step aside. We'll be back to give you the update on the other side of the break. A fog delay in a 3-1 game in the 6th inning from Orleans. Welcome back to Eldredge Park. They're still in a fog delay, and it does not look like it's getting better here in Orleans, but we're going to wait it out and see. They're going to let us know, and we will give you that update. We're going to step aside once again. I'm going to try and get some interviews up here for you so you can listen to some conversations with a couple of Commodores from the past few days on Behind Closed Doors, but we'll see if we can get that up for you. Thanks for sticking with us. This is Falmouth Commodores Baseball on the Commodores Radio Network.
Everybody, welcome inside a new episode of Behind Closed Doors. Saxonic here with Commodores infielder Travis Bazzana.
While we continue to wait here, we're going to take a listen to a conversation I had a couple of days ago with Commodores infielder Travis Bazzana.
Everybody, welcome inside a new episode of Behind Closed Doors. Saxonic here with Commodores infielder Travis Bazzana. Travis, coming out here the last week or so, how have you been adjusting to life on the Cape?
Yeah, sort of just creating a routine and finding when I can get my personal time in and spend time with the guys and prepare for games at the field and all the rest of it. So just sort of figuring out the schedule sort of things, and that's about it.
And this is your first summer playing summer ball, right?
I played summer ball as an incoming freshman on the West Coast. So second, but
so how different is it from school ball?
It's different. There's a different type of energy. It's sort of a loose feel. And yeah, when you sort of getting to know guys and building relationships, it's a different atmosphere than when you've kind of built those relationships throughout the fall and throughout seasons in college ball. But it's great fun, and the competition here is unbelievable. So yeah, different to anything else I've played in before, but I'm loving it.
What's been your favorite part about this group of guys?
Just great energy. I get along with all of them. They're just super fun and get it. They're really good baseball players. So it's easy to just have a good time around them, and you can trust them on either side of you, and I love it.
coming over to the U.S. from Australia, going straight into college there. What kind of was that journey like, and how was it to kind of start to pave that path even more?
Yeah, it's been great. I don't know what else to really say. Like I had a lot of big aspirations and still have a lot of big aspirations and goals. And yeah, I feel like the path I'm taking right now and being in the Cape and is just part of what I've wanted to do for a long time. And yeah, I knew when I committed to Oregon State back in high school that I wanted to play in the Cape as soon as possible, and to be here now is great. And I think I'm on a great path to making an impact on the people back home and hopefully paving a path for the next group of Australian baseball players.
You were at Driveline last summer, right?
Yep.
And what has that kind of done for you, and how has that helped you coming into this season and then now this summer?
Yeah, I just learned an extreme amount about my swing and about my body and training and things I can implement to be at my best. And yeah, built a lot of relationships that I'm still constantly in contact with now, and they help hold me accountable and make sure everything's in check for me. But yeah, just an incredible resource for me, and sort of changed my ability to take my walks and slug a little bit more too. So just improved me as a player and was the right decision for me. And now I'm here.
So a few of the guys over the last few days have kind of credited their recent hitting to working with you on stuff. What does it mean to you to be able to kind of help other people out in this group?
Yeah, I think I guess I could say like I'm a natural leader in a way, and sometimes guys look to me and trust in me, and that's kind of how it is at school and how it's been for a long time, I guess. Yeah, I'm just another voice, and I think some of the knowledge base I've built and the conversations I can have I think can be beneficial for some guys, and just talking baseball, talking shop with guys, like there's questions and I ask questions, they ask questions, and just good conversation. So if I can help anyone anyway, like I love doing that. I feel like I'm a teacher and a helper at heart, and I love doing that.
Seems like a big part of your game is the speed and the defense that you have and that you bring. Is that something you feel like has kind of been dying in the game of baseball recently? And how important is that to what you do and your mindset coming out into the field?
Yeah, I think my whole life I've been kind of that spark, that electric sort of player on the field that can bring the energy to the team and help sort of change the game with the speed and all that stuff. So, yeah, I pride myself on bringing that every day, and I just want to keep being myself and playing the game how I do, and I love doing it that way. So however I can impact it, I'm trying my best.
Talked about like the path that you had and the goals you're trying to reach, and part of that coming out here to the Cape. What are you hoping to really achieve throughout this summer?
I want to be great. I want to perform at one of the highest levels of any player in the Cape, and I hold myself to that standard. So offensively, like off to a sort of slow start, but like I feel like I've been really good with my process, and the knocks are going to come. So just learn from the people around me, keep being a sponge, and continue to just hone in and try to be the best player I can and best teammate on and off the field. There's a lot of relationships to be built and great people around me. So just be a good person and continue to strive to be the best player on the field at all times.
You may have touched on this a little bit in your last answer, but the thing I've been closing these interviews with and asking everybody so far is, what makes you so good at what you do? What separates you from everybody else?
Obsession. I think that since a young age I've been obsessed with baseball, and I'm passionate about it, and that passion and obsession like allows me to separate myself at times on the field, and I've just got a constant will to want to be better at the game and then be a better person off the field. And I think I'm able to grow through this game, and just intention with what I'm doing and a constant focus on how I can be better.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks, Zach.
Hi, everybody. Welcome inside Another episode of Behind Closed Doors. I'm Zach Senk here with Commodores infielder Kyle DeBarge. Kyle, how are you adjusting to life up here on the Cape over the last few weeks?
I mean, it's definitely different than back home in Louisiana, but I love it. There's not many beaches and stuff like that, and just the sightseeing is amazing. I love it.
Have you gotten a chance to go out to the beach yet? I know there haven't been many off days here since you've been up here, but...
Yeah, I mean, I'm blessed with a host house that's on the ocean, and so, like, literally you wake up and you can see everything. You can see the ocean, the beach, and yeah, we've gone down there a few times.
It's got to be a nice view to get your day started with.
Yeah, for sure.
So, coming into this summer, what has been the biggest difference you've noticed between, like, this summer ball and back in school?
Wood bat's less forgiving, for sure. Pitching's definitely better up here, too, so putting those two things together, I just take back. I got to go back and get stronger and stuff like that. I mean, just getting stronger so I can get balls out and more doubles and stuff like that.
How much do you kind of learn from other guys on these teams in spots like this?
Yeah, it's definitely cool to learn from other people. Just talking at bat to at bat and stuff like that. Like, what are they seeing with the pitcher and stuff like that, and their approach in that certain at bat. So, taking that from them.
For sure. So, let's go talk a little bit about school ball. You guys had a pretty good year at Louisiana. How'd you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm excited. We had a good year. We're expecting better. We're expecting Omaha, national championship, all that stuff, and that's why I went there, and I'm going back another year, so to try and do that. So I'm excited for it.
Got to talk about the Raging Cajuns, top tier nickname in sports, I think, in college sports. You a fan of it? Not a fan of it?
Yeah, I'm a fan of it. I like it. It's different. It's unique. So, yeah.
Fair enough. You grew up down in Louisiana. We were talking before about, grew up as an LSU fan?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of kids are LSU fans when they're younger and stuff like that, but also it's been a dream of mine to play at UL, so.
I was just about to ask, kind of how did that process go with getting started and getting to the spot now that you're at Louisiana?
Yeah, so I mean, in high school, it was my sophomore year when the Raging Cajuns had talked to me and stuff like that, so I committed my sophomore year, and they were the first school, and I kind of felt like overlooked by some of the bigger schools and stuff like that, but I definitely made the right decision to go to Louisiana, so I'm happy with that.
What's been your favorite part of playing out there?
Just the hard-nosed grit and how we play baseball. Like, it's not the home runs and power arms and stuff like that. It's more of, we call it the brotherhood and actually getting to know each other on the field in a personal manner. So just knowing what you have beside each other, and our fall is gritty, and the things we do to get to know each other is definitely a big part of that. So
how much do you feel that makes an impact on the field?
It definitely makes an impact on the field, because I'd be willing to do anything for the dude next to me, especially when I know what we've both been through in the fall. So it definitely makes it better.
Lastly, I've been asking all the guys this, get a lot of different responses for it. What makes you so good at what you do? What separates you from everybody else?
I'd say my confidence level. Like, you could say everybody's confident, but at the same time, I think my confidence level's on a different standard. So, like, I always tell people, I've gotten this question a little bit, but I always say I'm the most confident person I've ever met. So, definitely, it doesn't, because that makes, everybody's going to go 0 for 4, 0 for 5 and all that stuff. But just knowing at the end of the day who you are and what you're about and what you stand for is my biggest thing.
Well, it certainly worked out so far. Thank you for taking the time.
Yes, sir.
Hey, everybody, welcome inside Behind Closed Doors. I'm Zach Shack here, joined by Joe Redfield. Joe, how have you been adjusting to life out here on the Cape over the last couple of weeks?
And obviously, the weather's a lot better here than it is in Texas. I think it's like 110 where I'm from right now. So, I'm living the dream up here, just trying to enjoy summer ball, playing with some of the best players in the nation, some of the best guys I've met. So, really enjoying it.
You mentioned some of the guys you've met. How has it been gelling with this group, with guys coming and going quite a bit?
We've been obviously trying to make the most of it. Just, we knew going into this there's going to be some short-term relationships. And, I mean, we kind of just went in with a mindset to make the most relationships and memories that we can with the guys while they're here.
So, you played summer ball last year in the West Coast League, right?
I did, yes.
So, how different is the West Coast League from out here?
I'd say it's a little bit more competitive, and the teams are a little bit deeper out here. This is notoriously where the best players in the nation usually go to play, and I think that shows. Just from team to team, I'd say the depth on the mound is probably the biggest difference.
How did the process kind of go with you coming out here? Was it early that you knew you were coming out here? Was it late? Kind of, how was that?
I'd say about halfway through our season. One of our coaches at Sam Houston kind of had some connections up here, and my name had been mentioned a couple of times about potentially coming up here, and he put in a good word for me to get on the Commodores, and ended up signing the contract, and that's how I got up here.
It's good. So a lot of talk about Luis Arraez right now, hitting 400 and flirting with it. Major Leagues. You hit 400 this season.
I did.
At Sam Houston State. Did you ever think about that? Obviously, it's a little different at the college level, but did you think about that at all during the year, or how did that go?
I mean, I try not to. I try not to get too much on stats and just try to stay as consistent as I can. And, a big part of my game is just bat the ball, and I managed to get lucky a couple times, get a couple base hits that probably shouldn't have dropped, and I think, that kind of helped me keep my confidence throughout the year to, stay as consistent as I did.
So your dad played for a long time and played in the majors, correct?
Yes.
And so how has that relationship kind of helped you in your journey?
Oh, I mean, it's everything to me. After every game that I play, me and him talk on the phone for 30 minutes-ish, just breaking down my at-bats and kind of what he saw, what I was feeling. And, I mean, he's always just kind of been a role model to me, and always been there for me throughout this process. Pretty much everything I know about the game, it's come from him. So, I'm blessed to have him as my dad, and our relationship is just continuing to grow every day. And I know he loves watching me play still. So, yeah.
How is your game similar to his and different from his?
Similar. We both had a pretty old school approach at the plate, just kind of focus more on just hitting the inside half of the baseball and staying on a line, trying to hit line drives rather than hit for power. Different. I got a lot more speed than he had. I got the wheels. So, yeah, he was a corner infielder, and obviously I play outfield. So, yeah, I'd say that's where our game is a little bit different. Got a little bit more speed than my old man.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We've seen it on the base paths this year, leading the team in stolen bases to this point. But you've got a couple other Sam Houston guys up here. What's it been like playing with Walker and Braden?
Oh, it's been so much fun. It's like we never even left Sam Houston, honestly. Just, nothing's really changed. Still getting along great, and it's obviously made it a lot easier on all of us to come up here already, really close with a couple other people that are on the same team as you. Made it easier to get along and meet new people. So, it's been awesome. Everything I could ask for.
Lastly, we've been asking all the guys this on here. What makes you so good at what you do and separates you from other people?
I'd say probably I've never had it easy. I've always kind of just been overlooked, and coming out of high school, I had 4 junior college offers, and made the most of it and continued to work hard. And here I am. Had the season I had, but yeah, I'd say my work ethic and just where I've come from, I guess. Just having to work for everything that I have.
All right. Well, it seems to be working out to this point. Thanks so much,
I appreciate
Joe.
it, man. Thank you.
Hey, everybody, welcome into Behind Closed Doors. I'm Zach Stanek here, joined by Gavin Keelan for the Commodores. Gavin, you've been here since the beginning, so you've had a few weeks, but how have you adjusted to life out here on the Cape?
Oh my gosh, it's been great. This entire experience, just trying to soak it all in, and every chance I get. My host lady, I really got to thank her, Miss Peter. She's been awesome. I think she's given me a lot of opportunities around here and getting to show me around and tell me some nice places to go to and take us out to some nice places downtown. And this is awesome. Trundy kind of said it best that this is that kind of the setup of pro baseball before pro baseball. It's like a mixture of college and pro ball together. So it's that freedom that I think you get from pro ball. So it's kind of just, everything's on your own. Everything's expected on you to do it yourself, which is a lot like pro ball. So I'm really loving it. Getting to feel that next step in baseball after college.
Yeah, so what's been your favorite part of getting with this group of guys? I know it seems like everybody's always kind of doing something out here.
Mm-hmm. I think it's the team camaraderie.
I think just getting, a group of guys that don't really know each other and putting them together on a team in summer ball and getting, trying to compete to win a baseball game. And it's easy to make friends with baseball players because we are baseball players, So it's just a tight knit group coming together and then just get to play ball and have fun with each other. So that's the best part, playing for each other.
So you grew up a Red Sox fan, correct?
I did, yes, sir.
So tell me a little bit about Fenway Day. How was that experience?
That was awesome. I've only been able to go to one game ever in my life, and that was the wild card game between the Yankees and the Red Sox. My dad and I flew out and slept in the hotel that night and flew back home. So it was a crazy 7-hour trip, but it was awesome. Then being able to go on the field and take ground balls in the infield and just run in outfield, just be out there, take BP. It's a surreal feeling. Gosh, it's way bigger than I thought it was. Taking BP on it, you see those homers, and then you really get out there and you start swinging, and it really puts in perspective. But no, it was awesome. Dream come true, I'd say.
For sure. So what's been your favorite moment outside of Fenway Day in the season so far this year?
Honestly, I think it's just every day coming out and being able to play baseball out here. I mean, just, playing or not, bench mobbing, or if I'm, playing short or second, and, I don't really care where I bat in the lineup. I just want to play baseball. So this is just a dream to be out here in the Cape, and not a whole lot of freshmen get opportunities out here. So just trying to give every opportunity I can and take advantage of it.
So going back a little bit to the college season at Louisville this year, how'd you feel like it went?
When I talk to people, they're kind of like, you had a good year as a freshman. Well, in my head, that's I don't think it should matter what year you are, because your coaches don't care how old you are. It's the best players play every day. So I'd say I had an okay year. I definitely have a lot more to prove with my next couple seasons coming up. And, I'm really focused on trying to get better and to improve and have better, years again.
Yeah, and coming out of high school, you were drafted by the Red Sox, correct? How was that feeling, man?
Honestly, it was really crazy because I was at Louisville for summer school, and I just got out of the shower from we had a summer little BP on the field, me and 5 or 6 others. I got a phone call, and I'm like, hey, and that's my advisor. He's like, congrats, you just got picked. I'm like, what are you talking about? I just got picked. I just got out of the shower after practice. What are you talking about? I don't know, but it was pretty cool, being a Red Sox fan and everything. But my heart was kind of set on going to college anyways, so I knew where I was heading. It was more of a surprise when it came up.
Fair enough. All right, last question I've been asking everybody this so far in here. What makes you so good at what you do and separates you from everybody else?
I think I'd have to say that I think the difference for me would be that this has been my dream since I was a little kid. I think when you have that love for the game and that desire for it, you want it more than anything else, and you always do it. Anything about me is always baseball. Everyone's like, what other hobbies outside of baseball? Well, for me, it's just baseball. I love it, man. I love every part of it.
Hey everybody, welcome back inside Eldredge Park, and we've got some baseball coming. Between the Doors and the Firebirds, we're going to keep this game going in the bottom of the 6th. The fog has cleared a little bit. We've got a window to at least try and get in a little more baseball. We'll see how much more we get. But that means Cassius Thomas will get to make his Falmouth Commodores debut, Matt.
Well, we were just talking to him, and he was jumping up and down. He looked like he was upset that his debut here would have been, paused and have to wait another night. It's good to catch up with him. Had a good freshman year. Again, we were talking about just trying to work on his control a little bit, but he's got stuff. He brings that fastball in there hard. Luke Heyman right now just flashing the leather. That fastball is getting in there hot, Zach, and it's going to be fun to see how he gets this outing going as we resume after the fog delay.
It's going to be about location. He throws a few different pitches. He's got a fastball, has a curveball, has an occasional changeup. He's also working on a slider, he told us, Matt.
That's what he said. He's called it a slide piece is what he told us. But nonetheless, I mean, he throws hard. I mean, that fastball is jumping out of his hand right now. I'm excited to see what this arm has. Again, look, we're talking about some guys like Paul Benzani, Casey Hunt, some reliable arms for the Commodores who have, since moved on, after doing what they've had to do in summer ball, getting ready for the draft that's in a couple of days. Really tomorrow is when the draft really gets going, July 9th. Night. So you need a guy like a Cassius Thomas, a young guy who's trying to get his name out there to some MLB scouts here, and he's going to try to take advantage of that.
Speaking of the draft, a guy that was here last summer in Braden Taylor, potential top 10 pick tomorrow night. in the MLB draft. Going to have to keep an eye on that one, as well as a few other Commodores that could hear their names called over the next couple of days.
Well, I'm going to keep an eye on my Washington Nationals there at the 2nd overall pick, hearing some rumors that could be Dylan Cruz, could be Paul Skeens. Who knows? Plenty of guys that could go in that 1, 2, 3.
If the Nationals want to let Dylan Cruz fall to the Tigers at 3, I won't complain about that one.
Congratulations, by the way, that no-hitter today.
Hey, don't congratulate me, but that was cool to see.
They still all count the same. It might not have been just one guy doing it, but nonetheless, pretty historic stuff there from Zach's Detroit Tigers. But all in all, I mean, it's been a fun night. It was good to catch up with the players there during the fog delay. Cash Thomas, I mean, he was just he was telling everyone that he wanted to play. He's going to get the chance today. At least right now, it looks like, again, we talked about the fog delay, what can happen. Again, if the fog continues to roll back in, we would go into another brief delay to see if we'd continue on with the baseball game. But it really has cleared up. Again, you can see beyond deep right field with the building behind us. Before, earlier, about an hour and a half ago, couldn't see that building. I think we're going to be good for 9 innings of baseball here, Zach.
We'll have to see. The agreed-upon rules, it sounds like, is that the pitchers have as much time as they want to warm up, and that's exactly what we saw there from Cash Thomas. Gets himself loose, and then as soon as someone loses a ball, if it's hit out in the outfield, they can't find it, the coaches have agreed to call it.
Really?
That was what I have been informed. So we'll see if that information reigns true as the game goes on, but that's what I've been told.
I think you learned that when I was talking to Cash and hanging out with the guys a little bit. But no, nonetheless, we talked to the umpires as well. They were saying they hadn't seen fog like that in quite some time. And now, as we're getting ready to go with Matt Hallback stepping into the box, the fans give a nice loud ovation to resume this bottom of the 6th.
Let's get things started. Cash Thomas maybe showing a little bit of the nerves there, fires the fastball high to start off the at-bat. And we're back to action from Eldredge Park.
93 on that fastball, partner. It's hot out of the hand of Cassius Thomas, and that's another one at 93 up and in.
Continuing to pound it, but trying to find the zone. That's got to be tough for a guy that warmed up in the bullpen, got himself ready, and then had to wait a half hour. But now back to action 30 minutes after the game was delayed, and the 2-0 fastball finds the zone for a called strike. Matt Hallback out of UC San Diego, standing in tall from that right-handed batter's box. The righty Thomas goes into the windup, the 2-1. Another fastball and another called strike. 4 straight heaters to start off the summer for Cassius Thomas.
I mean, why not? I think you make it 5 here. It's a pitch that he likes to go to, obviously, the most of the time, and he can get it when it's that hot.
Break-even fastball, roped out to right. Long run for Tracy, but he'll run it down for out number 1.
Well, again, obviously, because we're playing, the fog has departed. Really good to see Tab Tracy find that baseball. Late on that fastball there was Hallback on a line out there to right. And it's good to see Tab running in hard, finding that baseball, cruising in there to make that catch. I like what I'm seeing from Cash. Fastball's hot, and it's good to see the guys in the field being able to find that baseball.
That fastball was up to 94 from Thomas. As now Fenwick Trimble steps in. James Madison Duke takes the first pitch, slider for a called strike. There is that slide piece, Matt, and it looked pretty good right there.
I was going to say I liked it. 83 there on the gun. You can live with that. Slowing it down 10 miles an hour from that pitch to your heater.
0-1. Goes right back to it. Gets a called strike that time on the outside edge and catches the zone. It's 0-2 to Trimble. Thomas struggled on his first couple of pitches to find the zone, but since then has looked locked in. 0-2. Fastball swatted back on top of the school building down that right field line. That one was hunting your car, Matt.
Well, I was going to say, did you see it clear the roof, or did we see a redirect back towards my car?
I think it might have got over, but I guess we'll find out after the game.
Trusting you.
Another 0-2. Swing and a miss. Tried to hold it up, but couldn't keep it from going around. Cassius Thomas with his first punch out of the summer, and 2 up, 2 down for the righty.
Well, Fenwick Trimble was trying to rely on a call down there the first. He went. That was obvious. Really, really good. When the fastball jumps like that, I mean, again, we're talking as guys who have never played past high school baseball when you're looking at fastballs that are 10 miles an hour slower than what we're seeing from Cash Thomas. But again, it is so fast at 93 that you got to be able to swing and react quickly. And that's what he did there when you have that such a good slider, too, that bites like Cash's does, to then being able to heat it up like that. It's a tough spot for the hitters.
First pitch to Eddie King was a fastball up. It's 1-0. Thomas still working from the windup. Fires that one outside. It's 2-0. With the delay, we didn't get a chance to talk about the start from Michael Barnett, but he was outstanding. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 unearned run, and that's it. No walks and 3 strikeouts.
I mean, it was the trouble of just the base runners with those errors, and that was it.
2-0 fastball. Just misses at 95. And it's 3-0 now to King. See if Thomas can battle all the way back. The 3-0. Misses out, and a 4-pitch walk keeps the inning alive. Eddie King Jr. with that speed heads down to first base.
So that's what we were talking about, Zach, with Cash Thomas is his control, the ability to find the zone with that flamethrower of an arm. And right there, kind of all over the place, trying to find the zone. Couldn't do it this time on the at-bat. And as we continue on again, it's that still depending on the fog. But again, you want to hold that lead. You don't want this game to get any closer.
And now Justin Rubin digs in. 1 for 2 to this point. Reached on a strikeout in his last at-bat. Takes high and tight on a fastball. And he's quickly ahead in the count 1-0 after a good stretch of continued strikes from Thomas. That's now 5 straight balls. Rubin transferring from Virginia to Pepperdine. Thomas checks over on King at first base, who dives back in without a tag. So Rubin steps back in, wide stance from the right side. Big bend in the knees and angles that bat over that right shoulder. Thomas comes set at the chest from the stretch. Another pickoff attempt to first. King back in once again. It's a 1-0 count to Justin Rubin in a 3-1 ball game in the bottom of the 6th. There was a 30-minute fog delay, but we're back to action from Orleans. Good size lead for King. 1-0, fastball. Just misses on the outer edge. And just like that, it's 2-0.
Yeah, it's 6 straight balls right now by Cash Thomas. All of them have really been that fastball, just trying to find it here. I mean, again, to the credit and defense of Cash Thomas, the delay doesn't help at all, but you need to find the zone.
High leg kick, 2-0. Brushes him back. It's now 3-0. 7 straight fastballs, all of them missing the zone.
And we know he likes to go to it more often than other arms do, when obviously fastball is everyone's, for the most part, dominant first pitch to go to. But this could be a chance just to try something to get over the plate. Try that slider just to have him honest up there in the box.
Takes a deep breath. And the 3-0. Misses outside, ball 4. Back-to-back 4-pitch walks with 2 outs. And Thomas going to get a quick conversation with Luke Heyman, who tries to settle down his pitcher on the mound and try and get himself out of it. Back-to-back walks hurts, but when there's 2 outs, you're still 1 good pitch away from getting out of this inning.
Yeah, but again, on the other side, this is what you don't want to have happen. You roll quickly with that line drive out, then you come with the strikeout, and now 8 straight balls. This is not the ideal situation at all, and Luke Heyman doing a nice job just calming his pitcher down. He knows it's his debut. Both these guys, 2 of the newest Commodores here in this Cape League, coming in from their respective schools of Duke and Florida. So, again, it's just trying to get comfortable with everyone, get the signs down, and try to calm the pitcher down. That's what you got to do as a backstop. But again, we're talking about a spot where an hour ago, thinking that the game was going to get called, looking like you were going to get that win. Now you've got 2 on, 2 out. You don't want a run to come in here if you're Falmouth.
Fog starting to roll back into the outfield here in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch, fastball outside to start off Colin Tuft.
I mean, right now, Cash is just smiling to himself. I'm not sure what's going on a little bit here, but we have not seen any other pitch in the fastball. And I know it's just to get something over, but it's not working right now. I'd like to see something else here. Let's see what he can find.
The 1-0. Fastball that runs inside at 90 miles an hour. It's 2-0. And here comes Mike Landry to talk to Thomas. Trying to settle him down and just get back into account and get 1 more out.
I mean, yeah, there's not really much else to say here. Again, he's a youngster, just had his freshman year. He's probably real amped up there right now. With Mike Landry walking out, he was chuckling a little bit there on the mound and just trying to get settled down. I mean, look, we know he's got the stuff. The control has been something you've had to work on a little bit. But that's what summer ball is for. I mean, he's so young, too, just trying to get the reps and opportunities in front of Major League scouts. Good summer ball crowd here. I mean, you just got to get yourself adjusted here.
And you really want to get through this inning because the fog is starting to get bad again. And this is a spot where you can get burned real quick. We saw it at Hyannis earlier in the season. The Doors had a lead. They gave it up. And right after they gave it up, bam, the game was called and they lost. Fog coming back in. I'd be surprised if we play all 9 tonight, even with that delay. And so now you're looking at a spot where you need to get an out here.
No, absolutely. And I don't see it being a situation of the coaches saying, okay, we need to win this game because the fog's coming in. We're going to make a pitching change or something. No,
Yeah, I
it wouldn't
disagree.
get to that. It wouldn't get to that point. You got to trust Cash Thomas to be the one. He started this inning. Let him get that third out and then see what happens if this game keeps moving forward beyond this point. But again, the 2 walks with 2 outs in any situation is not good. You got to find a way to get that out. A ground ball anywhere. Just put the ball in play. Give your fielders a chance to help you out.
Just got to get back to the zone for Thomas. We'll see if he can do it here. Long look to second at King. He takes off. The 2-0 misses high, and Heyman couldn't get a clean grip on it. The tying run in scoring position for Orleans and a 3-0 count for Tuft. That's 11 straight.
I mean, it's a tough spot. There's no doubt about it. And again, can't find the zone here. You do have the open base. You don't want to finally throw in for a strike. But if you're in the box and Tuft, I mean, I don't know how you're sitting there expecting that this very next one after 11 straight would be in there. You got to be taken the whole way.
Does take high. The bases are loaded with 2 outs on 3 straight 4-pitch walks, and the fog is right now getting close to as bad as it's been all night.
I was going to say, it's as bad as it's been, and obviously the umpires cannot do anything in pausing this game right now. This game has to go on, and that is not good news for Falmouth. You got to find a way to get this out.
Especially with the 9-hitter and Hunter at the plate, the top of the order looming in Joeyama. It's King at third, Rubin at second, Tuft at first base. 2 outs, a 3-1 game in the bottom of the 6th. Hunter digs in from the left side. First lefty to face the righty Thomas tonight. Fans getting into it. Fastball finds the zone for a called strike. It's 0-1.
And look, we're continuing to talk about the 12 straight walks, now that first strike. Look, you found the zone. Sometimes that's all it takes. Just finding it. Now you get comfortable. You work ahead. You open up the dialogue to go to other pitches to help you move along through the at-bat.
Thomas comes set. The 0-1. Fastball low. 1-1 count to Henry Hunter. The Doors scored all 3 of their runs back in the top of the 3rd. Orleans with a 1 unearned run back in the 1st. That got us to this 3-1 score here in the 6th. Henry Hunter 0 for 2, a line out and a ground out so far in the ballgame. The 1-1. Popped up left side and getting out of play. On top of the hill. Down that third base line, and it's 1-2.
And look, you're 1 pitch, you're 1 strike away from avoiding disaster. Right now in right field, along the right field foul pole, Zach, you can't see. I mean, it is bad. There are car lights on right now for the fans in their cars to be able to see the baseball game from that point of view. You need it here. This is the pitch. This is the spot.
The righty rocks himself set of the rubber. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Thomas punches out Hunter and strands the bases loaded in the bottom of the 6th. Orleans threatens, but the Doors keep them off the board. We head to the 7th inning from Orleans, 3-1, Falmouth in front. back at Eldredge Park, and there is yet another meeting with the umpiring crew, Jeff Trundy and Kelly Nicholson, to talk about this one while we continue to deal with the fog in Orleans.
I mean, again, look, every time these discussions happen, the good part is that Falmouth is in the lead. And right now we're hearing a little bit from Tab Tracy. Tab was out there and right making a catch with the fog. We're overhearing him right now saying the ball was hit to him out there, but it wasn't as foggy. Now it appears to be much worse.
And also he said later in the inning there were a couple balls that were hit the other way and to the other side, even the foul balls, and he said he didn't see it. He said he had no idea. And so we're going to see what happens. It's so tough because right now it's not as bad as it was 2 minutes ago, but what's to say it's not going to get that bad again in 30 seconds?
And you don't want to be the one in the home plate umpiring crew to say, we got to call this game while a potential rally like
Correct.
Orleans right there. So, again, and Kelly Nicholson right now looks like he's vouching for it. He wants this game
he very much does. He said that ball up in the air. He got a good look at it, but it's just Jeff Trundy standing there nodding his head in that meeting, but
Coach Trundy knows that if it gets called, he's at win 499 in the regular season. He's cool with either outcome.
And look right now, while we've been talking, it's gotten twice as bad as it was when we started this conversation 20 seconds ago. I mean, you can't see right field.
Right now, if you look into the lights, I mean, you see it's a massive cloud of fog moving now towards us here at home plate. So now for the hitters and the catchers, you might not be able to see the baseball.
It's ominous right now, but it looks like we're going to continue. Jeff Trundy shaking his head as he heads back to the dugout. We're going to keep playing.
And I feel for my catchers because, I know the feeling. I've never had to play in a fog situation, but again, it's already tough enough as it is to catch those hot fastballs and to stay with pitchers in the dirt. But if there's any element that is distracting, it makes it dangerous back there. It really does.
And you can see the frustration on the side of the doors right now, but either way, they're going to have to deal with it because we're still playing baseball. Riley Frey out here, the lefty out of Milwaukee. Delivers the first pitch to Tab Tracy for a called strike at 87. Start off the at-bat. It's Tracy, Martin, and Bazana due up this frame for the Doors here in the top of the seventh. Slider on the outside part that bends away from Tracy to even up the count. It's 1-1. Texas A&M Aggie standing in from that left side. High leg kick. Cut and a miss on the big bender there. Spin rate's really good so far from Frey, up at 27.96 on that slider. The wind and the 1-2. Ground ball right side. Oyama on the charge. He's had a lot of these today. Tough play. And Tracy with a head-first dive is safe as Olmstead is pulled off the bag. We'll see what they officially rule that one, but the Doors with a base runner to start off the inning.
You'll take it. I mean, it's a good battle there by Tracy, who fell behind rather quickly. There, a really late cut in the previous pitch. But Tab beats that one out. I think it's a tough play for Oyama regardless. I think that's a base hit. Looks like he just got ruled one as well. And you'll take it if you're Falmouth.
Speaking of hits, the top of the order has done that so far in this game. Christian Martin digs in. He is 1 for 2, but also has a walk and a run scored. Takes the first pitch fastball below the knees. It's 1-0. Tracy has good speed on the base pass with a 3-step lead. Frey giving him a look. Fastball outside. Martin squared but pulled back. It's 2-0. Travis Bazana stands on deck. The Beaver is 3 for 3 to this point with a couple of doubles. As he and Martin have been a tough 1-2 punch in this order tonight. 2-0. Fastball leaks outside. Martin way ahead in the count. It's 3-0.
Zach, every matchup against Falmouth, Orleans has used Riley Frey. We've seen him before this season. Had a really solid outing last time in the inning. He pitched, got one strikeout the last time these two teams saw each other.
3-0. Fastball right down Broadway for a called strike. Up at the letters to Christian Martin. 3-1 count. Tracy still standing over at first. Being held on by Olmstead. Continues to creep off that bag. Frey gives him a long look. Runner takes off. 3-1 fastball popped up out of play. Martin went after that one. Sent it straight back. It's 3-2, and Tracy has to jog back to first base. Frey gets the sign from Hunter behind the dish and rocks himself set. Lefty works third base side of the rubber, the 3-2. Fastball fouled back to the screen again, and Martin stays alive. Saw a lot of sliders in that first at-bat to Tracy, but haven't seen any yet to Martin. It's been almost exclusively the fastball.
It's kind of odd, too. You see that breaking pitch a lot left on left. It's typically a pitch that lefty southpaws like to use on the mound.
Checking back on Tracy, looked like he was leaning, but he dives back in ahead of the tag from Olmstead. Another 3-2 awaiting Christian Martin at the plate. Trying to continue his hot stretch over the last 7 days. He's been swinging the bat really well. Another 3-2 is the breaking ball, and Martin lays off it. He works a walk. There's 2 aboard with nobody out for Falmouth, and Travis Bazzana stepping up.
Well, again, you're working good at bats now that we resume action, and if the Firebirds wanted to keep playing, look, you don't want to give them opportunities when you might not have another half inning to have a chance to respond if you're Falmouth. So right now, you present an opportunity for your best bat in today's order, and really the hottest Commodore over this last stretch, to have a chance to really put a thump in this ball game right now.
Frey comes set. First pitch to Bazzana is a called strike. Fastball catches the outside corner to start him off. Tracy at second, Martin at first. 3-1 Doors in the top of the 7th. Trying to fight through the fog in Orleans. Bazzana rocking himself in that left-handed batter's box. Frey steps off the rubber to check on Tracy at second. Now we'll get back going. The last of 3 straight lefties to start this inning for the Doors, with DeBarge from the right side standing on deck. 0-1 elevates the fastball, and Bazzana can't catch up to it. It's 0-2. Bazzana 3 for 3, single in the first and doubles in the third and the fifth. Now behind in the count, 0-2. Left leg kick. The pitch from Frey is a slider that's laid off by Bazzana. And a 1-2 count.
Good patience there to really take that pitch. That's that left-on-left breaking ball that we were talking about. Bazzana stays honest. May have bought himself another one to try to lay off before maybe getting a heater here.
Couple looks back to second, the 1-2. Fastball hit high and deep, out to right, and you don't even have to watch that one. It's way gone. Travis Bazzana stays on. He's 4 for 4, and the Doors double their lead.
Well, he didn't miss that. There was a bat flip by Travis Bazzana as he continues to roll around the bases. 4 for 4 today. Those are his first set of RBIs on the day, breaking this ball game open. And no one appreciates that more than you, partner. That's your first home run call for the Commodores this year. I had all 8 previously. Wow.
That's a real nice swing. Got an inside fastball to turn on, and boy, did he turn on it. 100 miles an hour off the bat. 401 down that line. It's a short porch in right, but that's going to go a long way. First pitch to DeBarge is a check swing called strike.
I'll tell you what. Now no one more than Travis Bazzana is as appreciative to keep playing baseball in that Falmouth dugout.
DeBarge skies one out to right. Running in on it. In right is Trimble for out number 1.
I mean, that was rocked. What we saw there from Bazzana, he knew it right away. Could barely kind of see the baseball going throughout there and right because of the fog. But he didn't miss that one, Zach.
Not at all. It was a good pitch to get back into this inning. On the mound if you're Frey. The Doors seeing him well into this one. McGregor fouls back a fastball. And just like that, it's 0-1. Tyler McGregor out of Northeastern, looking to stay hot. He's 0 for 2 to this point in the game, but has been red hot all summer. Hits that one hard on the ground to first. Olmstead fields it on a hop, takes it himself to touch the bag for out number 2.
Yeah, just rolled over there by McGregor. He's hitless today, but it's been this top part of the order for the Commodores, one that's just been so dangerous as of late. Led by Travis Bazzana. And he got 2 out.
He's now a triple away from the cycle. He's 4 for 4 with a single, 2 doubles, and a homer. Luke Heyman steps in looking for his first hit as a Door. Comes up empty on the first pitch. It's 0-1.
Well, you'd like to see Luke here, this game being extended, find a way to get his first knock.
Takes inside, even up the count. Frey working very quickly now, looking much more comfortable from the windup with the bases clear. Delivers to Heyman, who sends that one out to deep left. Long run over for Tuft, and he will make the grab for out number 3. Heyman gave it a ride, but couldn't come up with hit number 1. But the Doors do find the long ball. It's 6-1, Falmouth in front, heading to the stretch from Eldredge Park. We're all stretched and ready to go here on the broadcast. We had to get re-stretched after that break for the fog delay, but a guy who stayed stretched and ready, Travis Bazzana. He's 4 for 4, and now the home run to extend the Doors' lead to 6-1.
Well, you go back to Gavin Keelan's game against Chatham, a 4-hit effort that day. Now you have Bazzana saying, hold on, I can do it too. Let me get going a little bit. We saw the number that Bazzana had this year, all those stolen bases and the high average, being selected to the Pac-12 All-First team. I mean, he's showing us now. He has been red hot, the hottest bat in this lineup over the last maybe 2-3 games for Falmouth. And if he's a guy in that 2 spot in the order that can get going, you set the table again for 3, 4, 5. And this is what we were talking about, this Falmouth offense that has absolutely arrived here in the Cape League, despite guys coming in and out of the lineup, leaving for the MLB draft or coming in late. This is what you were expecting from this group. And the offense from Bazzana is only just a little part of what this offense is certainly capable of.
The massive momentum swing from the Doors after Cassius Thomas was able to punch out Henry Hunter to strand the bases loaded in the bottom of the 6th and then put up 3 runs in the top of the 7th. Now Thomas comes back out to work here in the bottom of the 7th. He'll face the top of the order for Orleans, and that means Joe Oyama digs in. First pitch squared to bunt and took a fastball outside for ball 1. Oyama from the left side. UC Irvine takes another fastball, low and outside. Just like that, it's 2-0. Oyama with that open stance. Slight bend in the knee. Takes a fastball high and outside. It's 3-0.
Well, now you're not as worried and falling behind because you have that massive cushion, and that's a big sigh of relief needed for Cash Thomas. He can go out there and know that he just needs to get comfortable and find himself with such a large lead.
The wind and the 3-0. Called strike. Catches the outside corner to Oyama, and he's back in the count. High leg kick. The 3-1 is outside, ball 4. That's the 4th walk issued by Cassius Thomas to this point, and the leadoff man aboard in the bottom of the 7th for Orleans.
Yeah, we talked about the control issues, Zach, and you want to see him figure it out here and find a way.
Takes a deep breath before lifting that leg. First pitch fastball to Olmstead, blows it right by him. And now it's quickly 0-1. That one coming in at 91% From Thomas, we've seen him all the way up to 95. Olmsted, wide stance, right side. Circles that bat over the right shoulder. Fastball chopped at and sent back to the screen. Right back into this count and ahead in it, and that's exactly where he wants to be. Oyama over at first. He's got good speed, and he's aggressive on the base paths, but was thrown out by Heyman back in the first trying to steal. We'll see if he tries to test the Florida Gator again. USC Trojan and Olmsted digs in to face Cassius Thomas. Look over to Oyama at first, who continues to extend his lead, being held on by McGregor. Thomas with that high leg kick delivers fastball and punches out Olmsted. When he gets locked in, Matt, he is so tough to hit.
I mean, it comes in hot. You know, the only thing you're thinking about right now is Luke Heyman's hand. Does he have, a pad under there? Because this thing is just jumping out of the hands. Good recovery after that walk to find that strikeout for the first out of the inning.
Now steps in Jack Penny. Firebirds third baseman takes a called strike on a fastball to start off his at-bat. He's 1 for 3. Ground on to pop out with a single sandwiched in between. Oyama still creeping off that bag over at first as Penny swings the bat back and forth, awaiting the delivery from Thomas. Pickoff attempt to first base, and Oyama gets that white jersey a little dirty, diving back in.
Well, he's been real productive today. Has Oyama reaching in 3 of 4 tries today. He's been busy over there with McGregor.
Continuing to extend the lead over at first, a long hold, and now Thomas will fire back over again.
Well, the good thing about throwing hard is that even if he does go, you have a lot of speed in Oyama, but you trust that Luke Heyman's going to be able to receive that fastball. You're expecting him to probably go here and be able to have a good throw down should Oyama decide to go.
Oyama adds another step as Thomas comes set. Bluffs the steal. That one's hit high and deep, and second bat flip in this 7th inning as Jack Penny hit that one to the moon. And it's 6-3.
Well, partner, we were talking about the flamethrower, and it's good to throw hard. There's no doubt about it. You got to throw hard in this Cape League, in a pitcher's league, but the other side of it is you're providing a lot of that spark and a lot of that power with your pitch, and it's safe to say that Jack Penny did not miss a stitch of that baseball. No doubter to right center. And we were talking about getting that separation, that insurance. Well, that was a fastball right down Broadway, and he didn't miss it. We got a ball game here in the bottom of the 7th.
Thomas now back into the windup. Delivers the breaking ball high to start off Matt Hallback. Hallback started off against Thomas back in the 6th inning. Worked a full count and lined out to Tab Tracy in right. Now gets a breaking ball for a called strike. A good slider from Thomas. Looking to settle back in. Doors are playing him to pull. Couple of steps shifted each way. He does pull it down to third. Bazana, short hop, field on the run, throw. McGregor kept the foot on the bag. He was belly down coming to it, and Kelly Nicholson is quickly out of the dugout. Wants to talk things over to see if McGregor kept the foot on the bag long enough.
Yeah, it looks like that discussion is going to be had here, but nonetheless, just wanted to point out, I mean, it's a routine ground ball over there, and Travis Bazana, again, getting accustomed over there at the hot corner. That's the second time we've seen him have some trouble there on the transfer, getting ready to release that sidearm throw he has across the diamond. So, again, it's just him getting comfortable. At least you get to see that here in this ball game, but that was not all that routine, which may have played into the fact of why that throw was offline a little bit to McGregor. But again, he stands 6'3". He's able to stretch there a lot, keep his foot on the bag, and it appears that, again, we'll see what the discussion is here as the umpires are talking, but nonetheless, a great stretch.
They do come to the consensus that McGregor kept that foot on the bag long enough for out number 2. Hallback is retired. Thomas settling himself down. And now we'll face Fenwick Trimble for the second time. He punched him out back in the 6th, the first of 3 strikeout victims of Thomas to this point. Fastball elevated above the letters of Trimble to start him off. The Duke taking on the Blue Devil in this matchup. Trimble digs back in. Very aggressive hitter at the plate for Orleans. Angles that bat over the right shoulder. Breaking ball catches the zone. And we talked to Thomas about that slide piece earlier. He's using it well today.
I was going to say it's a pretty pitch. He's got a good feel for that pitch as he's been trying to find in and out of that fastball. That one looked good there on the outer third.
1-1 goes back to the breaking ball. This time it bends away and Trimble lays off it. 2-1 count.
But nonetheless, Trimble, kind of a check swing there. He had to think about it. It tempted him. It's doing the job. You're seeing that good delayed movement on that slide.
Thomas brings home the 2-1. Fastball low and outside. And it's a hitter's count, 3-1 to Trimble. We've seen what his bat can do already on the season. He had a single back in the first. He had a moonshot home run in the ninth inning off of Casey Hunt the last time the Doors were here. The 3-1. Breaking ball misses low for ball 4. And another walk with 2 away. And Orleans continuing to fight here in the 7th.
Well, that's the 5th walk we've seen from Cash Thomas today. And we saw what happened earlier. You give up a walk, you present an opportunity with a runner aboard, and the free pass with the home run pairs 2 runs in to come home. Now you present that same opportunity. You can't let those free passes hurt you like the previous one did.
Eddie King Jr. steps up. Parker Coyle's warming in the bullpen for the Doors. Thomas fires a fastball high. It's 1-0. Just trying to dial in his location. Leans in to get the sign from Luke Heyman behind the plate. Trimble, 3-step lead off of first, held down by McGregor. Thomas comes set at the chest. Long hold, 1-0. Breaking ball that stays up, it's 2-0. You don't want to get to the bottom part of this order. Justin Rubin and Colin Tuft, not your typical 7-8 hitters. Those guys can really swing it. Wants to try and get out of this here against King. Don't want to bring the tying run to the plate for Orleans. 2-0, gets away from Heyman as the fastball's in the dirt. It gets all the way to the backstop. Trimble moves on up to second, a man in scoring position, and a 3-0 count.
Yeah, yank that fastball. It's tough because Heyman's expecting that one. Looked to be inside where he set up, and that came across his body there to the right. So as a catcher, when it comes in that hot, you're setting up on the inner third, but having to reach quickly there to get that, it's tough to do because it comes in so hot, and it's a free 90 feet there. You got to be careful with that. And now base runner's in scoring position.
The 3-0. Outside ball 4. Thomas loses him, and the tying run will come to the plate in the form of Justin Rubin. And here comes Mike Landry, as we'll see if that is it for Thomas or if he'll get to face one more.
I mean, it is right on right up next. You got a couple righties due up, 3 consecutive. I'm not quite sure. We'll see. I think either option's good here, and it looks like Mike Landry is going to take the baseball, and we're going to see Parker Coyle.
Here comes the Commodores southpaw. Parker Coyle will give you all his info on the other side of the break. It's 6-3, Falmouth in front, but Orleans with the tying run at the plate in the bottom of the 7th when we come back. Parker Coyle to the mound to face Justin Rubin. 2 on, 2 outs. 2 already in on the inning on the home run from Jack Penny. Rubin's the 7th man to the plate for Orleans in the frame. It's 6-3, Falmouth in front. Trying to hang on what has been a wacky night in Orleans with all the fog. Razorback lifts that left leg, fires in a fastball low, bounces into Heyman, who blocks it in front.
Yeah, we saw Parker last time, July 2nd, in the 7-6 loss against Bourne. 2 innings, gave up 2 hits, struck out a batter. Use the infield to help him out. A couple of ground balls rolled. That's what you want here in this spot with 1 away. You just need a ball anywhere at any one to get out of this jam.
Driven out to right field. Back is Tracy in front of the wall, and he'll make the catch on the warning track. Rubin gave it a ride. He hit at 334. He needed to hit it about 340. And instead of a tie ball game, it's still 6-3 as we head to the 8th inning. Parker Coyle gets out of the jam. The door is still in front from Orleans. It's a 6-3 game here in Orleans, but a few other games going on around the Cape tonight. All of them final. Destiny's got scores for you.
Thanks, Zach. A lot of games also affected by the weather tonight. 2 of the games ended in 7 innings. The YD Red Sox defeated the Wareham Gatemen 12-2 in 7 innings. The Highness Harbor Hawks defeated the Brewster Whitecaps 7-4 in 7 innings. The Bourne Braves defeated the Harwich Mariners 5-2. And the Katuitt Cavaliers and Chatham Anglers game has been canceled.
Thank you, Destiny. We had some weather effects here in Orleans, but we're still playing baseball right now. As Kate Snell steps in to face Riley Frey with 6, 7, 8 in the doors order, 2 up. First pitch, fastball, misses at 86 to start off the at-bat to Snell. Shoots that one, knuckling towards shortstop. In the outfield grass, a nice play by Rubin to flip it across, and a pick from Olmsted to retire Kate Snell.
And nice adjustment there by Rubin to have to kind of sit back on that baseball, play it on the backhand a little bit, and deliver a sharp throw really from all your momentum taking you back towards the outfield. That's a tough play. That's why that throw's in the dirt. But obviously over there at first, Johnny Olmsted looked like he was a catcher almost, crouching down there to receive that on the hop. Really good communication there and effort in the infield to make that 6-3 look rather routine.
Here comes Nate Humphreys. First pitch swinging on the breaking ball, sends it back over the road behind us. And it's an 0-1 count to the Dallas Baptist Patriot, who digs in. He's working on an 0-for-3 night so far. Frey in the windup. Swing and a miss on that spinner. Down at the knees. Evens up the count. Actually brings it to 0-2. 0-2 bounces back to the backstop. And just like that, it's a 1-2 count now to Humphreys, who's looking to keep himself hot. He's had a few multi-hit games over the last few contests for the Doors. Got that wide stance hunched over in the left-handed batter's box. The southpaw Frey into the motion. Popped up left side. Going to be a tough play down that line. Sprinting in and making the play out in left field is Colin Tuft for out number 2.
That's a tough play. You got the shortstop, Rubin and Penny running out there away from the field of play, not knowing if they have room. You hear the catcher, Hunter Henry, saying, you got room, you got room. Well, that's why you want the left fielder to call everyone off and Colin Tuft. A lot of speed in there to make the play in foul territory. Communication's key in this game of baseball, and that was not a tough play over there in left.
Now here's Gavin Turley. Fouls back a first pitch fastball. He's had trouble with the heater so far tonight. A couple of strikeouts on the fastballs from both Leboki and Clark in this game. Fastball up to Turley, and just like that, he is now in a 1-1 count. 1-1. Fastball catches the inside corner. Turley thought it might have been a little in, but did catch that corner. So it's 1-2. The Oregon State Beaver. 1-2 sent slicing foul just past the Orleans dugout.
Yeah.
Chandler, Arizona native, a long way from home out here on the Cape and trying to settle himself into this summer. That would be a good time for that first hit. 1-2 takes upstairs at 89, and that evens things at 2-2. Good at bat worked by Turley.
Yeah, he sliced one there pretty sharply. Heads up to my good friend Sammy Miller over there. Had to duck out of the way, but a good battle.
2-2 breaking ball and a yellow light swing from Turley. Frey gets the punch out and retires the side, the doors. Down in order in the 8th, holding a 3-run lead. Head to the bottom half on the Commodores Radio Network. Parker Coyle back to the bump, working on his first full inning of work as he'll face 8-9-1 in the order. Colin Tuft, Henry Hunter, and Joe Oyama. Arkansas Razorback came into that jam, gave up a hard hit out, but an out nonetheless to retire the side and get out of a spot where Orleans had the tying run to the plate. Back in the bottom of the 7th, and now Tuft takes the fastball low at 89 to start off this at bat. Couple of very long home runs in that 7th inning, one per side. Coyle misses upstairs with the fastball. It's 2-0. Another highly touted freshman, this time in the SEC rather than the ACC with Thomas. Fastball gets the zone on the 2-0. And Tuft steps in. He was at Virginia. He's headed to Tulane. Go play for the Green Wave, team that had a crazy end of the season, making the NCAA tournament after a tough record in the American during the regular season. As the 2-1 goes off speed and Tuft chops it back, it's 2-2.
Why not? Ride the green wave. I mean, what a program-altering effort to win that tournament and get into the NCAA tournament.
Coyle from the windup, the 2-2. Bounces in the breaking ball. Just like that, we're full. Infield is playing tough to pull. Toughed out in left field tonight, a catcher by trade at Virginia. 3-2, misses inside, ball 4. And Tuft works back, wins the battle, and a leadoff walk to start the inning.
Well, Zach, here's what I would say to this. With how this ball game's progressed, that Orleans not going away just yet, this ball game's going to be the one with all those walks. You got to make sure you can't allow them to hurt you. Remember back at the Wareham game in the opener, 11 walks surrendered by the gateman to the bats of the Commodores. I mean, right now you can't afford to do that and let the Firebirds get more chances on base because of all the free passes.
First pitch swinging to Hunter, grounded to short. DeBarge to Martin, who can't get the transfer cleanly, so they'll just get the one. But the fielder's choice is the first out of the inning.
I mean, I was just about to say, well, that works too. If you're going to give up free passes, well, you can get rid of 2 outs on one single play. And that was tough for Martin. It was hit really, really hard. DeBarge had to get rid of it quickly. That's what they're talking and laughing about right now, quickly. But you do find a way to get that out, and that's a big one here moving forward. Again, bottom of the 8th inning. It's only a 3-run game, and you got to limit those free passes.
Joe Oyama now steps in, takes the first pitch, breaking ball, low and outside to start off this at bat. Japanese native has had some good years at UC Irvine and continuing that success to the Cape. He's got a pair of hits tonight as well as a walk. Hunter creeping off the bag at first. Coyle, fastball, a big swing from Oyama, but he comes up empty.
Yeah, went up the ladder on that one, 89. Really, really good pitch there, working up and in.
Oyama steps back in. Not a large frame in that box, but he can really get it done. That Jose Altuve type build. Batting from the left side. Sends that one foul on the fastball. And Coyle ahead in the count. 1-2. Coyle, a couple of deep breaths as he steps back onto the rubber. The lefty works third base side from the stretch. Leans in and gets the sign from Heyman behind the plate. Coyle comes set at the belt. Couple of looks over to first base. High leg kick. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. He punches out Oyama for out number 2.
Really good decision. Went with the breaking ball up and in there. That's a really, really good spot to a batter like Oyama. You talked about the Jose Altuve build. Really small means that his strike zone is not very big. So you got to make use of those pitches meant to tip batters up high, because traditionally you don't have that much room to work with against a batter who is not as tall as some of these 6-foot-plus guys that you're seeing in the box. But nonetheless, to trust the slider up and in like that towards the lefty in on him, that's a great pitch and a good result.
Johnny Olmstead swings through a breaking ball on the first pitch. Parker Coyle has found that pitch and is continuing to stick with it. It's quickly 0-1. Olmstead 0 for 4, reached on air and scored in the first. Few groundouts and a strikeout since. Fastball catches the zone. Coyle snaps it in at 90 miles an hour, and it's 0-2. Trying to work around that leadoff walk. Henry Hunter stands at first after his fielder's choice. With 2 away, a 3-run advantage for the Doors in the bottom of the 8th. Elevates the fastball, and Olmstead goes chasing upstairs. Parker Coyle saunters back to the dugout after back-to-back strikeouts. The Doors head to the 9th, leading by 3. Tab Tracy leads it off in the top of the ninth, 9-1-2 for the Doors against Riley Frey, who's back out there for yet another inning. First pitch swinging, jammed him, broken bat. Oyama on the charge and another flip on the run in time. One pitch, one out as Tracy is retired.
Tab Tracy's kept Joe Oyama busy there at second. The second time I've written 4-3 on my card under Tab Tracy, but nonetheless, didn't look like got all that one. Kind of sounded a little stuffed up there in that swing. Just got jammed on a routine ground ball. And Christian Martin was stepping back to the top of the order, and the guy waiting on deck, Zach, has a chance to do something we haven't seen since 2017.
Yeah, no Commodore has had a 5-hit game in the last few seasons. The first pitch slider, a called strike to Christian Martin. He didn't like that call on that outside edge, but it did just catch the corner. Fastball outside. It's 1-1.
But nonetheless, you're so happy that the swing of Bazana has arrived here in the Cape. You remember some of those first at-bats when he first got here, just trying to get accustomed.
Takes a fastball for a called strike. 1-2, check swing, tried to hold up, and he could not. Right with a punch out, he is quickly moving through this order.
Yeah, an ugly little swing there from Christian Martin. He's had much better at-bats than that. He knows that, too. Trying to hold himself up there from that swing on that really, really good slider low and in. And now it is Bazana with a big chance here.
Here he comes. First pitch takes the slider outside. He's 4 for 4 to this point. A single, 2 doubles, and a homer. That home run came against Frey in the 7th inning. Fastball low. It's 2-0.
Well, Zach, process of elimination there. Triple away from the cycle. You don't want to say anything too early, but he does have a chance here.
There's a ton of room out in center. Sends that one down the line. It's going to be a fair ball off the top of the wall. Bazana headed around second. He's headed for third. The throw is not in time. Travis Bazana has hit for the cycle. What a game for Travis Bazana as he has hit for the cycle.
I mean, I'm not going to say I called it, but I kind of did. I mean, look, he puts one down the line and right. When you're trying to get a triple, you want the ball down the right field line because it's the furthest throw back in on the relays. And speed is not a question with Travis Bazana. This is a guy who stole 38 bases at Oregon State this year. He's got all the speed in the world on the bases, and he knew it. Deer in headlights moment there for him. The ball looks like a beach ball. He rounded the bases so fast and knew that when that one got down inside the right field line, Zach, everyone knew here that he was going to try to give it a good effort there to third, and that's exactly what Bazana did. Wow, 5 for 5.
DeBarge quickly behind in the count against Frey, but takes fastball outside. And he's now up. It's 2-1. DeBarge pops one up left side. In foul territory, Penny makes the catch to retire the side, but the Doors see some history with Bazana hitting for the cycle. We head to the bottom of the ninth. Falmouth trying to get a win to go along with it. Right here on the Commodores Radio Network. We've had all the craziness of the night with the fog delay and now the cycle from Bazana, but we've still got a baseball game to finish as Parker Coyle heads to the mound trying to shut things down, facing 3, 4, 5 in the order. For Orleans, Jack Penny, Matt Hallback, and Fenwick Trimble. First pitch, a slider, gets a swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Travis Bazana with a 5-hit game for the first time since 2017, and now comes up with the cycle, the second cycle of the summer. The Cape League, Derek Bender had one a little bit ago for Bourne. Another breaking ball tipped into the glove. It's quickly 0-2. Coyle trying to shut this thing down as quick as he can. The wind. A breaking ball down. It's 1-2. This is a save situation for Coyle. Trying to finish off what would be the 9th win of the season for the Doors. The 1-2 goes right back to that pitch in the dirt. Heyman blocks it again, but laid off by Penny. It's 2-2. Coyle goes into the motion, the break even. Fastball roped out to left center. Long run for Turley, but he'll run it down for out number 1.
Nice job by Parker Coyle. You talked about the save situation. Able to get that first out, get a lot of confidence from that, but that was a pretty good hit baseball out there to left. We've seen Jack Penny with a big swing last time up, the 2-run shot to right. Anytime you hit it to the opposite field, you're locked in. You're seeing the baseball rather well, letting it come deep into the zone. Sharply hit, and a good thing the fog isn't really anything to worry about right now as we're 2 outs away, but it's a good play by Turley to stay with that one on a line, moving to his left and making the play for the first out.
Now the first pitch to Matt Hallback is a fastball for a called strike. It is 0-1. The UC San Diego Triton chops the breaking ball foul. It's 0-2. Coyle looks locked in right now.
He's finding pitches to work with. It's been that breaking ball that's been so good. Only throws upper 80s. I mean, it's not the hardest stuff in the world, but I mean, when you got really good secondary stuff to pair with a fastball, that's when these kids in college then be able to develop the third stuff. And Parker works with those 3 pitches he likes to use. He looks really, really good right now.
Takes a deep breath on the rubber. Couple of shakes of Heyman. Goes into the windup. Hallback widens the stance with 2 strikes. Takes a fastball low. It's 1-2.
And to go back on Bazana, partner, I mean, he's swinging probably the hottest bat in the Cape League right now. This 5-hit effort certainly.
Breaking ball, strike 3 called. Catches the corner at the knees. And sits down Hallback for out number 2.
That's a backwards K. They're just dropping that slider in on the inside third of the plate. Not a believer at all is Matt Hallback, 1 out away. But to go back to Bazana, 5-hit effort, multiple multi-hit efforts over the course of the last week or so. And as you talked about, second cycle on the summer, well, that won a Player of the Week honor, and I think that could be coming for Bazana here really soon.
Definitely a possibility. The fastball misses on the first pitch to Fenwick Trimble as Orleans down to its final out. On a fog-filled night at Eldredge Park. Called strike on a fastball. 1-1 count to Trimble. 1 for 3 with a walk. Chops it foul. It's 1-2. Infield playing, Trimble to pull. Takes a deep breath and a walk around the batter's box before stepping back in on the right side. The lefty Coyle working from the windup. Gets the sign from Heyman. Goes into the motion, the 1-2. Ground ball right side past a diving McGregor and into right field. And Orleans will at least get one more batter to the plate.
Yeah, nice cut there in the right-handed box. A little late on that fastball, but when you hit it sharply like that, it's a tough play for McGregor because he's not really expecting that one to shoot the way it did on that line out there to right. Really good contact. And now you have a chance with the tying run standing in the on-deck circle. Eddie King Jr. got to find a way to get on here. But now on the other side, your Parker Coyle, you got the 2 outs rather nicely. You got that line drive battling back in the at-bat. You get that strikeout there on the front door. Well, now you can't let Orleans get any bit of momentum here to work some at-bats. You need to put this away here with Eddie King Jr. in the box.
King digs in, 0 for 2, but a couple of walks to his name to this point. Takes a big swing on the first pitch, breaking ball, and pulls it foul down that third base line. It's 0-1.
Well, good to get ahead right away there. Slows it down there, 80 on that pitch. Sets up a chance to go to any of the pitches you want here. He slowed it down in on the lefty. Check that rather, the righty. That breaking ball comes in naturally to right-handers. Get him to pull the baseball like that.
Deep breath from Coyle. Goes right back to it. Gets a swing and a miss. It's 0-2, and for the second time, Orleans down to its final strike. King digs back in.
Well, sorry, I think you just you give him something here that you don't want to hurt you, right? You got to use that breaking ball again. Put it low in the zone here.
The 0-2. Fastball up. King lays off it. Sets up a 1-2 count. Louisville Cardinal digging in from that right side. Angles that bat over the right shoulder. Coyle comes set at the belt. Two-step lead over at first base. Gives a look. 1-2. Breaking ball. Hit into the air in shallow right. Martin back on it. He'll make the catch. And the Doors get out of Orleans with a 6-3 win. That's now 8 straight meetings between the two teams that have been won by the roadside. Falmouth will hope to break that spell the next time they see Orleans back at Gov-Fuller Field. But 2 more points for the Doors. Back in the win column once again, 6 of 8. Won by Falmouth.
The Doors are rolling. This Falmouth team is hot right now, and it doesn't matter which players are in the lineup or not. You're getting production all over the place. The only scare today was all those free passes that you gave up, but you found a way to have your offense and really Travis Bazzana carry you in this effort today. That 3-run swing that he had after that fog delay is the reason why Falmouth comes away with the win, because other than that swing, there wasn't really much of a threat by Falmouth in this game. Really, if you want to look at it, the second half of this ball game when we got going in that 6th inning. So, again, Bazzana, hottest player on the Cape right now. Love to see that 5-for-5 effort. But you got to calm that down on the pitching side, and nonetheless, a win's a win. You found a way to do it tonight on the road in a game you had to sit around and wait a little bit for. Great effort. You had the fog delay yesterday that canceled the game. Good to see Falmouth find a right way to win this one in 9 innings.
A big win for the Doors. They're back against the East Division tomorrow at home at Gov-Fuller Field. We'll catch you then. It's been a lot of fun hanging with us through the fog at Eldredge Park. For everybody here in Orleans, we hope you've enjoyed the broadcast tonight. We had a lot of fun with it. Laura Schroeder on the graphics, Destiny Sanchez, Matt Venezia, Zach Sardenik, hoping you have a blessed rest of your Saturday night and saying goodnight from Orleans.